Game here today. Really big game here today. Wait with that green light, and we are on. Hey guys, how you going? So BKR Sport, we are live as the New Zealand Warriors are going to be taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins in a game that is massive for both these teams. Absolutely massive. As you can see, the Warriors are currently on fraud alert. The Dolphins are not on fraud alert, but they are lower, but they are in the absolute thick of a top 8 battle here with Manly and the Cronulla Sharks, and you could even argue the Broncos, to be completely honest with you. You can probably throw in the Roosters, but I just don't know about them, to be fair. But overall, this is a big game here for both these teams because the Warriors need to get back to winning ways. We saw last week they obviously struggled against the Gold Coast Titans. The Warriors bogey team over the last couple of years, over the last 5 years, has been the Titans. 2010s, the Warriors would always slap them, but then since 2020, it really has been Titans getting wins over them, regardless of the favouritism. So, look, the Warriors obviously coming into this game off the back of a really, really poor showing where they wouldn't have expected that one whatsoever, whilst the Dolphins are actually coming in off a bye. They had the week off last week, and the week before that, they won 43-24 over the North Queensland Cowboys. But, you know, regardless of that, the Dolphins have been scoring a ridiculous amount of points in pretty much every single game that they've been playing in. Even in the game they lost to the Knights, they actually still scored 20 points there. So, the point of the matter is that this Dolphins team knows how to score. The best thing for the Warriors, however, is that they know how to defend. That is for the most part. Obviously, last week wasn't great, but for the most part, the Warriors, the reason why they've been in the top 4 this season has absolutely not been based on their attack. It has absolutely been based off of their defense, which is actually very similar to how the Bulldogs have got here, but also very different in the way these two teams operate. But they do have a lot of similarities in that department where they're not great attacking teams, but defensively, they both are pretty damn well good. But look, obviously, let's get into this game. Later on today, guys, we'll be live for the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs, which is another big game for both those two teams for completely different reasons. Broncos, similar reasons to the Dolphins, but the Rabbitohs obviously just trying to avoid the spoon, realistically. But yeah, look, obviously it's going to be an interesting one, but the first game here is the Warriors and Dolphins. So hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get... And by the way, Warriors fans, we can be friends again this week. We're going to be friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to being friends with me rather than last week where, unfortunately, we were not able to be the greatest of friends. No. I'm sure you probably wouldn't have been a fan of that commentary in that game, but I'm sure you'll prefer this one. If the Warriors can win, I guess. But obviously, like I said, thumbs up and subscribe. Now, the Warriors, they come to this game from 4th position, need to win and stay there, whilst the Dolphins are in 8th position, and this is at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. I still like to call it Mount Smart, man. I still like to call it Mount Smart. Now, the Warriors ins Eddie Jeremiah Toava, Edward Cozy, Freddie Lussick, and Tane Tuolpiki, with the outs being Chanel Harris-Tavita, Dimitri Vaimalga, James Fisher-Harris, and Wade Egan. So there is some huge outs there. Vaimalga obviously usually off the bench, Harris-Tavita a starter, Fisher-Harris a starter, and Wade Egan a starter. Plus also Luke Metcalf is still out, Rockaberry. So look, the Warriors are now starting to feel the injury curse at this back end of the year, which is the worst time, obviously. Like, that's an obvious statement to make, but it is the worst time to start seeing an injury list compile up like that when you are coming towards that final stretch and you are still fighting for your top 4 spot. Fullback is Tane Tuolpiki. He starts when he was originally meant to be the 14. Then you go to the wingers of Dallin Watene-Zelezniak and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Centres of Chance Newell-Klokstad, who has shifted from fullback to the centres. And Adam Pompey is there as well. You go to the 5'8", which is Tamati Martin, and Tanner Boyd is the halfback. Get around the big old Tan. He doesn't miss that. He doesn't miss that bloke. Then you got the front row forwards of Jackson Ford and Marata Niokore, who shifts in from the back row to the starting front row. And then you got Samuel Healy as the 9. You go to the back row. Kurt Catewell was originally meant to be in the centres. Now he's in the back row. He is the captain, with the other back row being Leka Halasima, and the 13 is my boy Aaron Clark. You go to the interchange, Jacob Laban, Freddie Lussick, Tanner Stowers-Smith, and Eddie Jeremiah Tuava comes in off the 18th man into the bench with Edward Cozy as the 18th man replacement, and Andrew Webster is the coach. So this Warriors team, it's just all over the shop right now. You know, obviously, they've got their starting 6 and 7, but it has been a change from Luke Metcalf to Tanner Boyd in recent weeks due to that injury. Their fullback, Chance Newell-Klokstad, normally starting in the 1. He's now in the centres with Tane Tuolpiki, who's normally not necessarily even in the team, or sometimes plays wing, sometimes plays centre. Obviously, now he's playing as the starting fullback. And because of this, they've obviously shifted Kurt Catewell from a centre into his natural position of a back rower. You've got Niokore, who's usually a back back row, playing in the prop. This is going to be a tough game here for the Warriors today because they need to be on point with their structure. They need to come in with the same defensive mindset they've come in throughout the season. Yes, they need to find a way to score some points, which has not been easy for them throughout the season. Even with Luke Metcalf, they were not here based off of their attack. That is a fact. That is a statistic, a true statement. They were not in the top 4 based off of their attack because they've scored this season so far 391 points for. That is not even in the top 12. That is not even in the top 12. It might be 12th actually. It actually is quite literally 12th. And that is off the back of a couple of big scores in the last couple of weeks outside of that Titans game. So the Warriors are not an attacking team, but they just need to find a way here today because the Dolphins, they have plenty of points in them. Now the Dolphins, their ins and outs, Felice Kafusi, Cody Nikorima, LJ Nonu, and Mark Nichols in, with the outs being Harrison Graham, Kenneth Bromwich, Peter Hola, and Tavita Naufahu. You go to the fullback of Hamisa Tabuafado, and the wingers are Jermaine Sarko and Jake Gavarillo, centers of Max Fianet and Herbie Farnworth. The 5'8" is Cody Nikorima. He comes back in. That is a huge inclusion for the Dolphins. And the halfback is Isaiah Katoa, who is the captain. You go to the props, the front rowers, Francis Molo and Felice Kafusi, with the number 9 being Jerry Marshall King. Back row is Kinelli Lemielu and Oren Keeley, with the 13 being Kurt Donahue. The interchange of Ray Stone, Orblix Tawa, Mark Nichols and Josh Kerr. And the 18th minute placement is LJ Nonu. Christian Wolf is the coach. You go back through the recent results for them. Okay, so they've had a little bit of a shaky month. They've been 50-50 in their last month, the Dolphins. Obviously, last week was the bye. Week before that, they won 43-24 over the Cowboys. Week before that, they lost 24-12 to the Sharks. Had a bye in between their game against the Rabbitohs where they scored 50 points but also conceded 28. So they won 50-28. But the week before that was when they lost 26-20. So their last month has been 50-50. But to emphasize, 43 points, 12 points, that's 55 points in their last 2 games, 105 points in their last 3 games, and then 125 points in their last 4 games. And then if you go past their last 4 games, you get to the Dolphins scoring 58 against the Cowboys, 56 against the Dragons, 44 against the Bulldogs, which was a weakened Bulldogs team. But then you get back to that game against the Warriors, where the Warriors actually did win 16-12, but it was a much more stable Warriors team at the time. And since then, that's when the Dolphins have really started to put some scores on. So this is worrying for the Warriors, but they are at home. Yes, they were at home last week. They are at home. You should really be kind of expecting this team to find a way to bounce back. And if I'm going to be honest with you, the Warriors are a team that when you expect them to win, they will lose. And when you expect them to lose, they will win. So I wouldn't necessarily completely put it out of the realm of a win here today, but I just don't think you can necessarily, from a neutral perspective, I don't think that you look at this and say that you can confidently tip the Warriors. I don't think you can really tip the Warriors. If the Warriors win, you can see that world, and I'm happy to be wrong on a prediction and happy to be wrong in the tip if the Warriors can find a way to prove everyone wrong, do what they usually do, win games that they're predicted to lose, and to solidify themselves in the top 4, because I'd love to see the Warriors do well this year. I want to see them go far. I do have my significant doubts and significant concerns, but at the end of the day, I would be surprised if the Warriors could win this game with all their outs. However, the Dolphins, I still want to see them beat some big-time teams. I really do. Because if you go back through that recent stretch, and that's not just including the last 4 games, you go, oh, geez, I just clicked on the Bulldogs there. Dolphins. So their last, in this run, they obviously beat the Cowboys, whoop-de-doo. They lost the Sharks, which would have been a decent enough win there, considering their early season predictions, but the Sharks have been not so great, and they still lost that game 24-12 to them. They beat the Rabbitohs, who are currently in last. They lost to the Knights, who are in the bottom 4, and potentially could be in last position this week. Oh, no, they can't be in last position because they had a bye, sorry. They had the bye this week. But the point of the matter is that, they're in a wooden spoon battle as well. The Cowboys, they have been absolutely dreadful. They're in 11th position, but they are the worst defensive team in the competition. They beat the Dragons 56-6. You're just like, well, shit, the Dragons are the Dragons, and they lose very frequently. To be fair, it's not a great result, that one, but again, the points are good. And then you go back to the Dogs game, where you probably would have said, if based on its merit of looking at who the team is, yeah, sure, you'd say that's a very good win there for the Dolphins, but it was the Bulldogs without their origin players, and the Dolphins had their origin players out too. Dogs had more so, and the Dogs for me are a little bit more reliant on that. So I don't even really look at that result. And then you go back to another good team here at the time, which was the Warriors, and they lost 16-12 to them. So in their stretch, it's not like the teams that they're playing have been top 8 teams. And then when they have played top 8 teams, like the Sharks, or like the Warriors, you got to provide context for the Dogs game. They are losing those games. So I just... Look, this Warriors team has been playing like a bottom 8, bottom 9 team over the last few weeks, but the Dolphins have not proven it. So look, I am going to tip the Dolphins. I am going to do it, but I do absolutely see a world where the Warriors come in and win this game today and solidify themselves with that top 4, because the Panthers are breathing down their necks and they need to do something here. But if the Dolphins come into play with their high attacking, high pace, high energy footy, they will win this game, and I have to rely upon that. I have to back that in for the time being, but I actually would really prefer the Warriors to win this game. Now we go over to the ladder. The Warriors are in 4th position on 30 points. Obviously, the Storm won yesterday, so they got away from them, which, even though the Warriors wouldn't have been jumping above them regardless based on their points differential being awful in that top 4 at plus 28, the Storm jumped away from them by 4 points. So if they win this game, they will stay in 4th position for the weekend, and they'll go to 32 points, which is 2 points behind the Bulldogs and the Storm. But the Bulldogs do get to play the Tigers on Sunday, so they might go another 4 points clear of them. But if they want to, I don't even think you should be bothering thinking about that top 3 Warriors fans. I think you should just be bothering right now that focusing on locking down that 4th spot so that you can just guarantee yourself a 2nd week of finals and potentially put yourself into a 3rd week of finals if you can do an upset over the Raiders, despite the fact that the Warriors have lost the Raiders both times this season, even when they were playing their best footy. So the Warriors, they would win, stay in 4th, and they would be still at least 3 points clear of the Panthers, because the Panthers do play the Titans, and you would expect the Panthers to win that game tomorrow. So yeah, they would go at very least 3 points clear, but potentially 5 points if we can do you guys a favour. Now, if the Warriors lose this game, they will stay in 4th position. So win or lose, they stay in 4th here. However, with the Panthers being a heavy favourite against the Gold Coast Titans tomorrow, they're on a 6 or 7 game win streak. They're on 27 points. The Panthers would go 1 point short of that top 4. They'd be on 29 points. You don't have to worry about their points differential, despite the fact that it's already about 60 better than them anyway, 50 better than them anyway. So the point about it is the Panthers would be 1 point short of the Warriors from that top 4, and that would be a nerve-wracking sign for the competition, but also very nerve-wracking sign for the Warriors there. But they're very grateful the Panthers have a very difficult 3-game stretch coming up after next week's game, I think, against the Knights. Now, you go down to the Dolphins. They're in 8th position, equal with Manly on 24 points, but they've got a plus 169 points differential, whilst Manly have a plus 22 points differential. If the Dolphins win this game, they would, for the time being, go above the Sharks and also above the Broncos into 6th position, and then also above the Panthers into 5th position. And actually, no, they wouldn't. They would not go above the Panthers. They would go to 6th position. Sorry, I thought they were on 25 for some reason. I don't know why. But the Dolphins at 24, they'd go to 26. Obviously, the Broncos play later against the Rabbitohs, and the Sharks play on, I think, Sunday against the Cowboys, or it could be Saturday against the Cowboys. Either way, both teams there are expected to win, so you'd probably assume that the Dolphins just finish off the weekend in 8th position. However, the Broncos lost to the Eels last week, so you can't guarantee them, and the Sharks are just bloody fraud alert central. So there is a potential they could finish off the round in 6th position, and then they would technically still be in the hunt for the top 4, because then they would only be 4 points short of the Warriors. So the Dolphins would be coming for a top 4 spot. Now, this time, back in 2009, the 3rd season for the Titans, which this year is the 3rd season for the Dolphins, the Titans finished in 3rd. So I don't know if the Dolphins can get to emulate that 3rd position, but I could see a world where they get top 4 if they keep up this run. But anyway, long story short, 6th, 7th, or 8th if they win. If they lose this game, then Manly play the Roosters, and the Roosters, so those two teams right below them. Now, the Dolphins' best bet is for the Roosters to beat Manly, because then both of those teams will be on 24 points. However, the Dolphins have a plus 169 to Manly's plus 22, and the Roosters plus 4. So that if the Roosters won, then they would stay in 8th position. If Manly won, then they would go down to 9th position there for the Dolphins. So, a lot to play here, because there'll be only 5 games to go after this round, and the Dolphins are in absolutely the thick of it. I still think the Warriors are in a very advantageous position to finish off in that top 4 with their draw in comparison to what the Panthers' draw is. But again, if the Dolphins win, they'll be 4 points within, and there will be a little opportunity there for them. But all right, the Dolphins are out in the field. The Warriors are coming out as well. Like I said, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, get into the chat, let us know your thoughts. And whether you agree or disagree with anything that I'm saying, you probably will be, but let's see what you say. All right, let's move this bad boy across. New Zealand guy, I don't know what he's doing at the start there, talking about Leighton Gay, your game, mate. Mr. Manhigh, has it started yet? Well, the game starts in like a minute time. Like literally, it's about to start. They've both run out to the field. Ashley Klein's referee. Oh, we love that. Oh, we love a good Ashley Klein referee. Oh my gosh, that's the only reason we watch NRL, for Ashley Klein. That's the only reason. You guys watch Rugby League? No, I just watch Ashley Klein. Hopefully we can get 18 penalties like we did in that Storm game last night. Olivia Reed with the $8 redo donation. Get around you, Olivia says, this is a hard one for me to choose a winner. Yeah, I agree, but I have gone with the Dolphins here. I can absolutely see a world where the Warriors are surprised, but they've just got so many players playing out of position. They've got players who are out, obviously. It's a bit of a schmozzle there in New Zealand, but they just need... But the Dolphins haven't necessarily convinced me, despite their 50-point blowouts that they've been getting. I still think they're a long way from proving until they play some really big-time teams and beat them, because they lost the Sharks a couple of weeks ago. Third tackle here for the Warriors. They're going to get this ball here to the 25. On their own side of the field, and right near Corey rolls it back, and Jackson Ford now, he'll get this ball to the 30. So yeah, look, I'm tipping the Dolphins, but it's going to be interesting to see if the Dolphins are the team that a lot of people believe, or if they are still a bit of a pretender, because I've still got to believe that they're a bit of a pretender. Yes, they're scoring 50 points, but against who? And when they're playing someone who can be somewhat classed as a somebody, or a somebody, then they lose the games. So I'm still not convinced of the Dolphins until they start beating some big-time teams. And even this game, first tackle with the Dolphins at the 30, Cody Nikorima brings out at the 40 on second tackle. Even this game, it's like the Warriors have a significant amount of problems right now, and you can look deep into the Dolphins beating the Bulldogs 44-8, could be a similar style thing to what this game could be here with beating the Warriors, but the Bulldogs had all their origin players out, and the Warriors have a dramatic amount of players out this week. They didn't last week, Warriors fans. You don't get it for last week, but this week, they absolutely do. So fourth tackle now for the Dolphins, and they're at the 35 on the Warriors side of the field. Good starting set here for them. Hamiso gives it out, and the Dolphins now will get 25 metres away through Oren Keeley, fifth tackle. But thank you very much for the donation, Olivia. And get around here, the real Keefe. You're a legend, mate. Appreciate you for becoming a member. Dolphins kick this ball through, and Alan Martinez-Lesniak will grab the ball at the... They've zoomed right in. I think it's the 5 or 15. It's either the 5 or 15 here. It's the 5. And Warriors will bring it out through Tane Tuolpiki to about the 8-second tackle. But yeah, appreciate you, Keefe. So yeah, look, I'm tipping the Dolphins, but I'm still not convinced. I just have to do it based off of all the player changes from positions and players out for the Warriors and whatnot. Mel Rasso getting around the Dolphins. Jared Choi says, looking forward to see how the Dolphins go in this game. Absolutely. But there's still massive, doubts about the opposition that they're going up against. Fourth tackle here for the Warriors. Now fifth, and Aaron Clark with a strong run brings out to the 30. Warriors haven't started out these first 3 minutes with two good sets. The first 2 sets of this game have been a little bit lethargic, except for that run there from Aaron Clark. JC Smoke said, if the Dolphins lose, they got to fix something because the Warriors have got 7 players out. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I understand the viewpoint, but not necessarily. I still think the Dolphins aren't quite there yet. Second tackle here at the 35, and the Knights game kind of proved that as well. Dolphins never won in New Zealand. Sure, but records may be broken. That's a high tackle, but they won't call it. No, they will call it. Third, it will be a penalty to the Dolphins here at the 40. Love that I called that before Ashley Klein did. Love that I called it about 100 years before Ashley Klein did. Jared Troy, it'd be funny if the Dolphins put 50 on them. I wouldn't necessarily find that funny. It would actually really start to... that would start to really drop the Warriors out of the contention race. I don't necessarily think they're contending for a premiership right now. I think that they could definitely come back next year and retool and put themselves into a better position because they weren't expected to be a top 4 team this year. They were expected to be a bottom 4 team. A lot of people had them for the spoon. I had them for second last. I put my hand up and say I was completely wrong, but you had to assume that based off of the change in the halves and the fact they weren't necessarily an attacking team and they had results like 66-6 against them from the Titans last year. That's just a thing. So not many people expected them to do quite well this year, but they have very much surprised and it's been great. But next year might be the better year for them to make a push. 6 again over the Dolphins. They're 20 metres out from the line. First tackle. Isaiah Katoa gives it to Cody Nikorima. They get out to Hamisa Tapuai-Fidow. You'd argue there was a penalty there for a late hit, but they didn't call it. Second tackle here at the 18. Give it 10 minutes and Ashley Klein might call that. He likes to call things extremely late. And now the Dolphins through Molo. We are 13 metres away from the line. Third tackle. First attacking opportunity of the game for both teams. And Warriors says you've got to be nervous because the Dolphins usually know how to put points on. But you're a good defensive team normally. But you are going to concede here to Herbie Farnworth. Well, we've been 5 minutes in here, and that was a very simple try for the Dolphins. That's worrying. That's worrying, New Zealand. That is worrying. I just realised I'm going to have to refresh his scoreboard because Jay's probably reminded me, but he didn't do it early enough. But the Dolphins have scored. It is 4-0 here with a kick to come. Herbie Farnworth, first try of the game, and it was a very easy try. Very easy try. Infinite Kiwi says if we can contain the speedsters, we'll give ourselves a chance. Up blows happy well. Going all right, man. Loving Ho Chi Minh at the moment. Loving Ho Chi Minh here in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh. Very nice. This coffee's okay. It's nothing too spectacular, but there is some great coffees in the city. But Herbie Farmworth, way too easy there. Mr. Manheis, this question here, who do you think would win? Well, I tipped the Dolphins before the game. I'm still not 1,000,000,000% confident in them, but I did tip them before the game. Jared Choi says, Herbie and Hamisa will carve them up. Well, that was before this try was scored, and Herbie's already scored. He's already scored. Lagan says, realistically, Dolphins should put 20 on the Starstruck Warriors team. Sure, but at the end of the day, they still have enough talent here to win games, the Warriors. They do still have enough talent. They've still got Charles Nicholl-Klokstad. They've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. They've got Tamani Martin, who's their normal 5'8". Oh, no, he's not necessarily, actually. To be fair, you guys probably are more right. Maybe I am defending the Warriors a bit too much at the moment. Dolphins will convert the kick from the sideline, and it will be 6-0 to the Dolphins 6 minutes in. Yeah, they probably do have a bit too many out, especially Wade Egan and Samuel Healy being in the number 9. But, we've seen massive upsets before, and sure, we could see an upset here today. I would have rather to see the Dolphins coming up against a full-strength Warriors team here today, so I could get a good read on where the Dolphins are actually at. Jared Choice is hopeful because it leaves the door open for the Roosters. Roosters ain't making the 8. Olivia says Muppet Hour started earlier today. Yeah, no, it definitely did. Definitely did. Highlights once, what district in Ho Chi Minh? I'm in District 1, brother. District 1. Alright, so the Dolphins here will get this ball at the 3 and they'll give it off to Molo, who'll be at the 13. Brent Nesbitt says, I think Tanner Boyd will miss his kicks tonight. He hasn't missed a kick so far. I don't know what game you're watching, mate. Tanner Boyd has not missed a single conversion so far, buddy. So you really got to start clicking on, mate. You've got to start realising. You've got to start really having a good think about yourself. But that's going to be another penalty here to the Dolphins. And we've been here for 7 minutes. And we've already seen a couple of penalties. Please don't make this like last night, referees. Last night was disgusting. It was ludicrous in regards to how many penalties. And today, it's not on the same wavelength. But I think we had 4 penalties by this point last night. We're at 2 at this point right now. So I'm getting a little bit nervous. Getting a little bit nervous here. Brenton says one of his streaming skills. Oh, yep, in regards to he'll figure it out in 5 minutes, Chicago. Yeah, we'll figure it out in about 5 minutes' time, but guess what? Oh, that's a high tackle. And they didn't call it, but it'll be first tackle for the Dolphins, the 45 on their own side of the field. Yeah, streaming skill of mine is not remembering the scoreboard. It is. But I take pride in it, mate. I take significant pride in not remembering the scoreboard and then figuring it out and then blaming somebody else for it. That is very, very much a strong point of mine, and I appreciate myself. You've got to appreciate yourself in life, you know what I'm saying? You've got to appreciate yourself. So Dolphins here quickly, and they're getting carved up on the left-hand side. Herbie Farmworth is away here, the 25, the 20, and it'll be third tackle at the 20 on the Warriors side of the field. They're going to kill this left-hand side defense, well, right edge defense, the Warriors. Left-hand side attack. No one's there for the Dolphins, though, and the Warriors will get away lucky. No, it'll be a dropout. It will be a dropout here from the Warriors. Black says it'll be a close game. Dolphins take it, I reckon. I just don't know if it is going to be a close game based on what we've watched so far. Before the game, I expected the Warriors, despite players out, to have a little bit more oomph behind them. But there's not much oomph right now, mate. Not much oomph. Not much oomph, and especially with a high-flying Dolphins team scoring points. But I just think that when the Dolphins come up against some really good opposition in the top 8 or in the finals, they'll come a bit of a gutser. Warriors will knock it back here, and that's huge. They will get the short dropout, and Samuel Healy will end up with the ball at the 15. It was a nice play there from Chance Nicholl-Klokstad. Nice play. Now, first tackle of the Warriors at the 10. Tanner Boyd goes left-hand side. Still hasn't missed a kick tonight. How good. Hearts 1. That's right. What's district? Mitchell says Dallin's fault. A penalty to the Warriors at the 20. Yeah, that's something that I was speaking about this on last week's stream. So it's a penalty to the Warriors here, so this will help them out to get out of their own end. Warriors fans, a lot of you do watch these streams, and I want you to really recognise that if you see Dallin Martinez-Lesniak off his wing, it doesn't just mean... It doesn't mean that he's playing defending badly, right? And if he's completely left his winger open, majority of the time, it's because of the inside men who have crunched in. Especially if you look at that Kieran Foran pass to Philip Sammy. Everyone complained about Dallin Martinez-Lesniak coming off his wing and coming inside for the centre. It was his only option, because if you look at the centre and you look at the back row and you look at the entire Warriors team defensively, they'd all come in. So if Dallin doesn't come in, the pass could easily have gone into the centre and the centre's going to score guaranteed. Or if Kieran Foran gets a beautiful pass over to the top, they're going to score to Phil Sami. It's more so on the inside defense rather than on Dallin. But it's just that, and this is with every single team. Warriors here at the 30 on third tackle, now 25 metres out fourth tackle. It's with every single team. People don't necessarily recognise what a winger's responsibilities is as a defender, and they think that it should just be stay on your man. Once again, Warriors at the right-hand side here. Dallin. Wattiza Lesniak with a try, just as we're talking about him too. Just as we're talking about him. Dallin Wattiza Lesniak will score, and it's going to be 6-4 to the Dolphins, but a kick to come to the Warriors from the sideline. Dallin Wattiza Lesniak, just as we're speaking about him, will go over. And 10 minutes into the game here, it's 6-4 Dolphins, but nice try there from the Warriors. They just roll it out, and then Dallin's got too much speed there for the winger and puts it into the corner. Hey, guess what? Don't miss, mate. Don't miss. Brent, you're about to learn, mate. You're about to learn. Some nice flowers over here, though. Really nice flowers. Really nice flowers. Yeah. But anyway, is that a movie projector behind you? Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it is. And I pulled the thing down. It's a massive projector. I was watching straight out of Compton for a bit last night. I went for a walk down Boy Vienne Street here in Ho Chi Minh, which was something. But then I came back and I watched a bit of straight out of Compton. It's good. Very good. So 10 minutes into the first half here, guys. About to be potentially 6-6. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new around here. Dogs Legend Dallin. Don't know about that. It's not a projector, it's a smoke machine for his OnlyFans streams. That is true, Jay. You know, I was trying to keep that a little bit quieter for a surprise for people who do sign up to my OnlyFans, but obviously you've decided to ruin that one. Mate. You know, you're a massive killjoy in regards to the surprise. You know, you've really got to let people be surprised by it. It's only $50k a month to join up to my OnlyFans. Alright, so Tanner Boy done miss. Those flowers are so nice. They really are nice. Beautiful flowers. They are. Beautiful flowers. And guess what? It's a beautiful day. Well kicked too, Brenton, you son of a bitch. That's my boy, the Mount Joker. Hey, guess what? Brenton? Look at me when I say this. He doesn't miss. Mother bitch. Gee whiz. Don't ever doubt the man. Tanner Boyd. Don't ever doubt him. 6-6. 11 minutes into the game. Lagan says Pucura and Payne Haas pulled out for the Broncos tonight, but it doesn't really matter too much. Well, it could. Absolutely could. Brenton says, come on, Tanner, prove me wrong. Well, it did. Well, that's exactly what he did. You got to start believing. Sorry, my screen was full of birds. No, it wasn't. That's not possible. There's no birds on your screen. I know you saw it. So first tackle here for the Warriors here at the 15. And if you didn't see it, well, guess what? I can prove it to you by saying, look at the score. We got the 2 points. Last week we saw the NRL decided to let him forfeit their kick. This week they went for it and he got it from the sideline. Third tackle for the Warriors at the 40. You can deny it all you like, but we all know the truth. That's a great offload there from Aaron Clark. Samuel Healy, third tackle at the 50. Payne has a skin infection. Big old yikes. God bless him. So fourth tackle now for the Warriors. You know, I'm in a bit of a two-way here. I'm in a bit of a two-thought mind where if the Broncos win, it's like, well, the Rabbitohs stay underneath the Titans this week. But if the Rabbitohs win, it'd be hilarious. So I'm like, you know, what do I want to see tonight? The Warriors put that ball up in the air. It's a good kick in a good area. And I think that's going to be a knock on Dolphins. I don't know. Yep, knock on Dolphins first. The Warriors are going to get another attacking opportunity here. Another attacking opportunity coming up for the Warriors. Might be a close game after all. We hope so. Jay says, Rabbit smash, obvious answer. Well, if it's funny, because if the Rabbitohs are able to get a surprise win over the Broncos, and then if the Titans were able to get a surprise win over the Panthers, then the Eels would actually go last. Rabbitohs would be second last, and the Titans would be third last. So it would be very funny. I can't see necessarily the Titans beating the Panthers tomorrow. And I also can't really see the Rabbits beat the Broncos. But the Broncos are a very error-filled team. Rabbits beating the Broncos is a more likely chance than the Titans beating the Panthers. So the Warriors here, they'll be first tackle. 7 metres away here from the line. Take it back to the 10 on first tackle. Libby says, I got free olives on my kebab because they thought my name was Olives. We'll take it. You know, just be grateful, be happy for it. I don't want anyone to give me fire on my buddy. Don't give me fire on my kebab. Don't give me fire on my kebab. Tanner Boyd out to Aaron Clark, and now Murata near Corey. It's going to be 5 metres out from the line. Third tackle. Brent says, are we going for the Bronx? Sure. If for a Knights fan, sure. Yeah, technically. To be fair, everyone in the bottom 4 would technically, bottom 6, 7 would be technically going for the Bronx. But they give it out to Aaron Clark here. 4 tackle at 10. Tanner Boyd now. He spreads it out to Tamani Martin. Tamani Martin kicks it through. Good defense there from Jermaine Asako. It's going to be a dropout. It's going to be a dropout from the Dolphins to the Warriors. Who puts olives on a kebab? Yeah, olives on a kebab is a bit of a different one. Bit of an interesting decision there. Get a bit of jalapenos on it, you know. Get a little bit of something. Get a bit of hot stuff. Fire it up. Get a little bit of hot stuff going. So drop out here from the Dolphins to the Warriors. The Warriors are showing something. I'd say they could show up with something. If you get first until the end of the stream, you get mod. Mate, that has absolutely nothing to do with becoming... Why do people want to become... Like, you just give... to the Dolphins here at 15. Yeah. Yes, mate, that is the only way you get mod. That is the only way to be number 1 on the thing, on the top fans thing. But I don't think we've actually we cared about it for a grand total of the first stream it was here, and then since then we've all just basically ignored it. 4 tackle here with the the Dolphins got the short kickoff, by the way. The Dolphins got the short dropout. Sorry, I got distracted there. And it's their 4 tackle at 30. They got the short dropout, and that's a 40-20 attempt here from the Dolphins. That's a 40-20 attempt, but it will not have the power on it. And Donald Watson, his neck will pick this ball up at the 15. Still don't understand the point system. I don't think they understand the point system. First tackle of the Warriors, their own 23. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about the short dropout that the Dolphins got. And now Warriors will be here at the 30 on second tackle. Okay, I'll go with the Bronx, but refuse to do the stupid dance. I'm not doing no stupid dance. The only stupid dance I did was the Venga Boys thing, and that's very stupid. But Titans organisation, you know, they think it's great to try and copy the Broncos. So 4 tackle. And good run here from Samuel Healy. Great run from Samuel Healy. Gets the ball to the 30 on fifth tackle. And now, not Harris Feeder. Chance Middle Clockstad gets that ball underneath. They put the kick up. And a good take by Hamiso. And he'll get taken down about 5 metres out from Kurt Gatewell. Jared Troy says, never tried olives in a kebab, but I guess it could work. I don't think it's the worst option ever. Like, it's better than putting, like, pineapple. If you cook your pineapple and put it on a kebab, then you need to seek a therapist. I think you need to see both a therapist and a psychiatrist at the exact same time. And you know what? Throw a psychologist in there as well. Get the absolute trifecta, because if you're putting pineapple in a kebab, you need some serious, serious help. And that's going to be a drop ball from the Dolphins, but it does go backwards. They're very lucky. Very lucky. It'll be 4 tackle at the 35 for the Dolphins. Okay, Joe, I reckon we can probably deal with that one. All right, Dolphins now at the 42, fifth tackle. I bet it's bloody cold in New Zealand. Yeah, it probably would be. I live in a permanent summer with my travels this year, so I don't remember. I don't remember how it feels to have cold. And Roger Tuivasa-Sheck will bring this ball out to the 30 on first tackle, because I was in the USA in early March, late February, so I guess that's probably the coldest I've had. I was in Fiji and Australia in January, February, and then I went to India, which is just a permanent summer, but I was there in the summer. And then Thailand, which is also kind of a permanent summer. And then I'm in Vietnam, which is definitely summer right now. So I just don't... And I prefer winter of all things. I'm a winter kind of guy. Fifth tackler at the 45 on the Dolphins side of the field. All right, so Tamani Martin. He's going to whack that ball up into the air. Warriors chasing it through. And good hit there from the Warriors. And it's going to be Jermaine Sarko grabbed down at the 10. That should be a penalty against Neil Klookstad, but they didn't call it. No, I haven't been on any nights out in Ho Chi Minh just yet, highlights one. But that was my first night really here last night. I'm here for about 3-4 weeks. So I'll give it up to Hamiso. Been out plenty of nights in Vung Tau. Not Ho Chi Minh just yet. City is 12 degrees and raining. Okay, well, I'm not a big fan of the cold and rain, but I'm a fan of the cold. Herbie Farmworth is away here at the 20, the 30, the 35, the 40, 45, the 50. He's got Hamiso. This is a try. This is a guarantee. Oh, no, he's done his hammy, has he? Oh, no. No, he's done his hammy. Herbie Farmworth has done his hammy when he broke away. It was a guaranteed try if he gave it off to Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. That's so sad. God bless him, man. That is so sad, dude. Herbie Farnworth has just done his hammy as he's broken away. It was a guaranteed try because it was a 2-on-1 and it was Herbie Farnworth and Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. But as he hit the 50 maybe, why are they showing Jake Averillo here? Worst camera work I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, as he hits the 50, he pulls up limp with one of his hammies. I think it's his left hammy. I think it's his left hammy, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's his left hammy. So that's devastating for the Dolphins, man. That is devastating for the Dolphins. No, it was as he hit about 43 metres out from the Warriors line. And again, it was a guaranteed drive. He just passed it to Hamiso. He just needed to pass it. Gone for 6 weeks. Yeah, no, that's rough, man. So his first week back is probably it's probably about week 1, week 2 of the finals. If the Dolphins can make the finals, because they are nowhere near guaranteed for the finals at the moment. So says, you hit any lady boys? Very strange comment to be inquiring if I have hit any lady boys. It probably shows me a bit about your mentality, Miss Solo. But the answer is probably going to be a no here today. It's also not probably, but definitely going to be a no tomorrow as well. But thank you very much for the offer. You know, it is crazy, though. If you look at any of the dating websites and stuff like that, like your Tinders, your Hinges and all that sort of stuff, mate, it's actually crazy how many there still are in a country like Vietnam that just... it really is crazy, because Vietnam's not a massive ladyboy country. Thailand is. Vietnam isn't. Fair tackle here at the 25. It's actually ridiculous. I was actually messaging Skunk about this yesterday. It was quite funny. So Cody Nicarima, he's going to kick this ball into the corner. And knocked back there from the Dolphins, then knocked back from the Warriors. No, they're going to say knock on from the Warriors here. Where was the knock on from the Warriors there? I would challenge this. Yeah, I think this is going to be a successful challenge. They are going to challenge it. They are going to challenge it here. Oh, wait. What did Highlanders fans say? Yeah, why did you get timed out, Highlanders? Sunday, why did you time out Highlanders fan for 60 seconds? I don't know. He just said temperature around 16 is high, and then yes. There's no touch from the Warriors there. This is just going to be Warriors ball. Yeah, there's no. It's a successful challenge. It'll be Warriors ball at 10. Oh, I thought you celebrated the injury. Oh, okay. Well, no, we probably would have, but hidden him if he was celebrating the injury. So, Captain's challenge will be successful here. Warriors will pick it up actually at the 7. So I must have clicked the wrong button. Oh, no! Oh, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Oh, so it's not a knock-on originally, but there's definitely a knock-on there from Watene-Zelezniak for no reason. There was absolutely no reason for Dallin to touch that ball. There was absolutely no reason for him to touch that ball there. That's actually a penalty. That's actually an offside penalty. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak touches that ball first into Niokore, who grabs the ball. This is a penalty. This is going to be a neutral infringement. So is this a Dolphin? So what do they call it? So they were checking to see when the whistle actually blew. Oh, so it's Warriors ball. Okay, so this is Warriors ball. So, okay, well that was very confusing, but the Warriors end up with the ball at the 10. A bit confused by how that kind of happened, but the Warriors made up a ball. Dallin definitely knocked the ball on, but what they were doing was they were looking to see when the referee blew his whistle, so if it was before or after, and I don't know what they actually called on it. So, Warriors fans, you can't complain about refereeing decisions because that was kind of interesting how that one panned out. But anyway, it's Warriors here at the 30 on third tackle. All Blacks Tower comes on for Herbie Farmworth, by the way. If you are just tuning in, Herbie Farmworth doing that injury. That is a rough one for the next 4 to 6 weeks, probably on the upper end of that. So fourth tackle here at the 45. Samuel Healy rolls back to 12 Peaky. And now Aaron Clark, he'll get this ball to the 45 on the Dolphins side of the field, fit tackle. 20 minutes gone in the first half, 20 minutes to go. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. Samuel Healy out of Tanner Boyd at the right-hand side, and he'll whack that ball up. Highlights one, I feel like you ask me quite a lot if I'm doing a certain game. One, it's in your subscription feed now. I'm doing the Rabbitohs-Broncos game, but also two, I pretty much stream every single game here, my guys. So it's surprising that you constantly ask me if I'm doing a game when you should know I'm doing it. you should know I'm doing it, man. The second tackle here at the 20, and they roll off to Hamisa Tabuai-Fidow, and then Jermaine Sarko, and Sarko nearly loses that ball. He'll be at the 20, third tackle. Yeah, I will be here for the Rabbitohs versus the Broncos. Maybe I might be confused if that's the same person who always asks me, but it's literally in your subscription feed, man. Yes, I do pretty much every single game. So, fourth tackle. Carl says, are you doing Dragons versus Titans stream in 2028? No, I'm probably not going to do that one because it's the Dragons. The Dragons bore me to death. So, fifth tackle here at the 38, and I'll give it off to Isaiah Katoa. And he'll whack that ball down to the 25. Does find grass, but sits up perfectly for Dallin, who gets away from one tackle, gets away from two, and gets out of the 35. Good run there from Dallin. Good run. And plays it quickly as well. And 12 Peaky, he'll get this ball to the 50 on second tackle. Tanner Boyd off to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He gets a bit of a step going. And here comes Kurt Catewell. Kurt Catewell at the 40, the 35. The 30. Geez, he's getting an offload away there too. This is some really good play. Oh, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. He's him across the head. How on earth that wasn't a penalty? But there's going to be a 6 again, but it should have been a penalty for a high tackle. 6 again for the Warriors now. 20 minutes out. This is a fantastic set here. It's a fantastic set. You doing the Korean table tennis tonight? Yeah, only the lingerie one. Second tackle now for the Warriors, and they'll be 10 metres away from the line. Second tackle. 19 minutes to go here in the first half. That's a 6 again. Samuel Healy goes quickly. This is an unbelievable attacking set. Connor Black said what happened to Herbie. Unfortunately, he did his hammy, mate, on a breakaway. Was a guaranteed try, 2-on-1 with Hamisa to his left-hand side. And he pulled up with a hammy at the 50. So at the Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd's short ball, knock on Warriors. That's not great, Warriors. That's not great. That's not great, man. You get multiple repeat sets. It was a fantastic set that got you all the way into the attack in 10. Unfortunately, Tanner, that wasn't the pass. Make a prediction for the grand final. Yeah, no, he didn't say please, Olivia. Ham did not say please. That is the issue here, Ham. You've got to say please make a prediction for the grand final. You've got to say please. But the Warriors, oh, that was awful defense. And Marshall King's away at the 50, the 40. Oh, and... and now the Warriors are away after that intercept. Marshall King breaks through the Warriors' defensive line, runs about 30 metres, and then has like 3 players on his inside, but he didn't realise that Kurt Catewell was quite literally in the middle, and then Catewell just reaches up and grabs it. Now there's a Warriors penalty 40. This game's gone crazy. This game's just all over the shop. What's happened? What's happened? What's happening here? Shut your mouth, Molo. Get out of the way. Somebody, Martin, give me an uppercut. Give me a slap, man. Give me a slap, buddy Molo. What are you doing? So, just to clarify what just happened, Marshall King decided, we all knew, like, I saw it, anyone watching the game would have seen it, you knew if he passed that ball on the inside, it was going to be an intercept. Like 100,000,000%, there was no chance of anything except for an intercept. He then decides to pass it, literally directly to Kurt Catewell, who's right there. And then the Warriors decide to make a break through Roger Tuivasa-Sheck down the left-hand side, they get back into the 40 to 35, and now it's going to be a penalty to the Warriors, where I'll probably take the 2 here. How far out are they? 35? No, at the 40, they've decided to kick over the sideline. I would have gone for the 2. I would have gone for the 2. Jay and Olivia have timed him out when he said, please. My grand final prediction, Ham, is Geelong versus Collingwood. So it's going to be first tackle now for the Warriors, and they're at the 25. Unnecessary leg pull. Yeah, I would have gone for the 2, though. I would have to make it an 8-6 ball game. But then again, I guess the Warriors know they've got to score points against the Dolphins with the way the Dolphins do score points. But they aren't scoring a great deal of points in this one at the moment. So out to Aaron Clark, and Aaron Clark is going to be 5 minutes away from the line. Third tackle, 17 minutes to go with the first half. Aaron Clark still pushing. Third tackle, 3 metres away. Rolls back to Samuel Healy. Healy off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd out the back here to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin goes himself. He bounces off 1. He still goes. Oh, tripped up late. And he'll be 5 metres away from the line. Fourth tackle. Samuel Healy, he'll give that to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd, no, that's on Tan again, bro. That's on Tan again. It's a knock-on from Marata Niokore, but it's on Tan again. 0 tackle here for the Dolphins at the 7. Tan's got to fix that passing option, man. The last 2 sets have been on Tanner's passing. So the Dolphins have blown 2 tries now. Not necessarily was that a blown try just then. Like, there was no guaranteed option of a try. The first try was a blown try, but that was unfortunate because it was a hamstring injury. Highlights once the Tanner Boyd can't kick from 5 metres. That doesn't even make sense. No one's complaining about his kicking game so far, and he's literally kicked the conversion from the sideline tonight, so I'm not too sure where that comment came from. It's his passing game that's been the problem today. Cody Nikorima, he'll get that ball out here to All Blacks Tawa, and Tawa is going to... Oh, jeez. This right side defence of the Warriors is getting just slapped at the moment. They might not be scoring a bucket load of tries, the Dolphins, but they're getting a bucket load of meters on this right edge. Oh, and the Warriors are going to knock the ball on. So here come the Dolphins. 0 tackle, 15 meters out from the line. That's going to be knock on from Tane to Alpiki. 0 tackle, 13 meters out for the Dolphins. They give it to Francis Molo. And if I'm the Dolphins, I just go down the left-hand side. I will 1,000,000% just attack the left-hand side. Herbie might not be there, but All Blacks Tawa just made a good break on that side with his first run of the ball. So they're very clearly up for a big one on the left-hand edge. So the first tackle here for the Dolphins. They've got a repeat set, 5 meters out from the line. They give it out to Donahue. And then Ray Stone, who is 3 meters out, second tackle. Rolls it to Marshall King. Marshall King gives it off here to Donahue. Donahue will run it straight to the 3, and it'll be third tackle. Just go to the left-hand side, you'll score. Oh, don't worry, you might score right underneath the post. Yep, and that's what they're going to do. Jerry Marshall King will score a try right next to the post, and it's going to be 10-6 here to the Dolphins with a kick to come. Warriors are going to be really in tatters, and this is what my concern was before the game that I was speaking about, is that you needed to be on point with your defensive structure, because there are so many players playing out of position. There are so many players playing who are missing from the game, and it's very difficult to maintain that structure when you have got like 7 players out, but you've also got players who are playing out of their regular position. So it's very difficult to maintain the exact same responsibilities and job requirements on the defense, and that's what the Warriors have been struggling with. Yes, the Dolphins haven't been scoring a great deal of points, but at the end of the day, they're about to take a 12-6 lead. Dom says Tanner passed that back to Seabus, pretty much. A Solo says Titans let Tanner go because sometimes he plays average. The Titans let Tanner go because the Titans don't know how to count from 2 plus 2. They don't know how to mathematically equate 2 plus 2. They got rid of Jamal Fogarty. There's a 50-50 side to that, with Jamal being a major involvement there. But they lost Jamal Fogarty because they wanted Toby Sexton. And then they lost Toby Sexton because they wanted Tanner Boyd. And then they lost Tanner Boyd because they didn't know where the band was up and where the drums were playing. So I just don't know what they want. They'll never know what they want because they never hold themselves accountable. So, Dolphins here from right next to the goalpost, and he will whack it in Jermaine Sarkos, but it's 12-6 with 13 minutes to go here in the first half. Graham says, Herbie got a hamstring. I think, go Dolphins, who's with me. Herbie definitely did a hamstring. There's no debate about that. We all witnessed him do his hammy. It was definitely a hammy. Some people in the chat can't equate 2 plus 2. That's a good point, Jay. That is a valid point there. Especially when they ask me what the score is. Graham says, why is Titans first? Well, why do you think? They've won more games than the rest of the opposition. They're undefeated, mate. I don't know why this is so difficult to understand. Hungry 49 says, how many weeks out is it usually? 4 to 6, but you're probably looking towards the 5-6 range. You're probably looking towards the 6. So he would be back for the first or second week of finals. If they make it. So the Dolphins now are 20 metres out from their own line, first tackle. Solar says, Capewell playing centre like that one Origin win. Now they think he's a centre. Do you realise Capewell has played a lot of centre? Capewell was also Origin centre multiple years ago. It's not the first time that Capewell's played centre. Also, Capewell is in the back row today. You know that, right? He was named in the back row. And that's going to be a drop ball there from the Dolphins. And no, Watines Lesnak. Please tell me that was a knock-on from the Dolphins, otherwise that's going to be silly. Yep, they've said it's gone backwards for the Dolphins. Watines Lesnak, bro, you've got to dive on the ball, dude. You've got to dive on the ball. It's a hero or zero play, but you've just got to dive on the ball there. I don't know how they've said that. Oh, yeah, no, it is backwards. Yeah, no, it was backwards. Daniel Martinez Lesnak, that's so silly to not dive on the ball. What do you think the final top eight will be? Uh, I've got Sharks, maybe Dolphins, maybe. I don't think much will change. Roosters aren't making shit. And there's a penalty to the Dolphins. This is on you, Daniel Martinez Lesnak, for not diving on the ball. This is on you for not diving on the ball there, dude. So, penalty to Samuel Healy. So the Dolphins will kick his ball into an attacking position. I just don't get. I don't understand why he felt the need to kick the ball rather than just dive on it. You're down by 6 points. You're obviously in a serious position as a club right now to maintain your top 4 spot. You've just come off the back of losing to a team who is in 17th. Why are you kicking the ball rather than diving on it and just giving yourself the possession of the ball? Adrian says Kate was the best or close to the best utility player currently playing. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think that he is a really good utility. I'll be satisfied the Finns make the finals at least. Negative mentality, but sure. The Dolphins now will hit the grass and it'll go back to the 35. You should be, especially with the way they've been scoring points, you should be satisfied with making the second or the third week of finals. But again, Dolphins fans will try and claim just making the finals, which sure, it'll be your first finals experience, but I also don't think you should limit yourselves. Third tackle left for the Dolphins with 20. 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. 10 minutes to go in the first half. And now the Dolphins, fourth tackle here, 8 metres away from the line. Don't concede again here, Warriors, because you'll have to really question. Oh, that's going to hit the grass. Oh, dude, that's bad defense. Oh, my gosh. The Dolphins are going to score down the right-hand side. It's going to be 16-60 with the kick to come. And Warriors have been their own worst enemies today. I'm sorry, but that all comes down to Daniel Martinez Lesnak not jumping on the ball. You have to jump on the ball there. You know, yes, I will defend Daniel Martinez Lesnak's defense and say that it's not all on Dallin and it's plenty on the centre and plenty on the back row and plenty on the structure. But you've got to criticise Daniel Martinez Lesnak not jumping on the ball and giving the possession back to the Dolphins. Then next thing that happens is Samuel Healy gives away a penalty, and then the Dolphins score off a broken down play here. Now, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is off his wing, so if you're going to have a crack at Martinez Lesnak for what he does, then you have to have a crack for Roger there as well. But again, if you look at that defensive play, the reason why Roger is so far inwards is because he's 2 men in. Right, so Roger is 2 men in from his wing. He is basically at the back rower. So that means that if he's there and there's nobody defensively on his left-hand side, well then why is there nobody defensively on his left-hand side? It means he hasn't come in necessarily off his line, off his own back. He's coming off his line because the guys inside of him have already come in off their line. So if he's coming like this and they're still on this side rather than the outside, then that means that it's the defensive structure. And that's a lot of the time what you will see with Dallin Martinez-Lesnak on the right-hand side as well. Hearts wants Perth Bears marquee prediction. No idea. So Jermaine Sarko here from the right-hand sideline. Right-hand sideline, 9 minutes to go here the first half. And that's a... Wow, he's missed that kick badly. He has not gotten a hold of that curve. He's not happy with that one. He is not happy with that one. And you can see why. That was a bad kick, son. That was a bad kick. All right. So Oren Keeley with the try, and the Dolphins lead 16-6. At least it's only a 10-point game. At least it's only a 6-point game. Infinite Kiwi says, like he was going to beat the hammer off the kick. That's another great point. With that being said, when you're in the moment, you're not really going to be thinking like that. He did have a little bit of an advantage, but yeah, he just needed to dive on the ball, dude. And it cost him a try because of it. All right, so Mark Nichols here for the Dolphins. He's going to run this ball back to the 13 on first tackle. Warriors right now, you're only 4 points clear of the Dolphins and 3 points with a game in play tomorrow for the Panthers against second last. Away from the Panthers, dearie me. 3 points and 4 points. Who do you play next week, Warriors? You haven't lost this game yet, but who do you play next week? What is your draw, actually? The Warriors run home. You've got... You got the Dogs next week at a call. You You got the Dogs next week at a core, then you play the Dragons at home, you play the Titans away, the Eels at home, and then Manly away. A very awkward draw. Next week, God help you, Dragons, quirky, interesting, tough game to really call in a lot of ways. Warriors get the ball here at the 5. If the Dragons don't win this week in a surprise result, I could see them winning that week. Then you play your bogey team, the Titans. The Eels are a better team, but you should still beat them. And then you got Manly, who will be fighting for a top 8 spot. You're in a bit of an awkward spot here, was. Very awkward spot. You are guaranteed for you should be guaranteed for the finals. You are guaranteed for the finals. But if you do go on a bit of a losing streak here, you're only 6 points away. But you should be guaranteed for it. Alright, get that ball off in Samuel Healy, and Healy get this ball to the 45. Can't get the offload away, he'll beat the 50, fifth tackle. Eddie Jeremiah Tuava, and on an NRL debut, he will come in, and it will be a penalty here to the Warriors. The 50, huge. Shit. Gee whiz, I've just taken everything. Hold on, give me 1 second here. I just knocked out my charging point. What's going on here? Give me 1 second here. So, Warriors penalty. At least that happened at the right time. There we go. Now it's back on. As he says, if Titans beat Penrith tomorrow, I promise you I'll go to every home game at Seabus next year in solidarity. I'll hold you to it, Adam. I'll hold you to it, son. All right. All right, mate. I gotcha. You know what? I'll buy you membership. How about that? I'll buy you membership and I'll put it in the front line. Oh, it's a huge run for the Warriors and they'll be 3 metres out from the line, second tackle. I'll buy you membership for you, Adam. 6 again here with the Warriors. They're 1 metre out. And try time for the Warriors. Try time for... No. Has he been held up? They're going to check this. Oh, this is close. They are going to check this. He's going to say no try here, Ashley Klein. Either way, it's like 6 again and held up. He doesn't lose the ball. It's a great run from Jackson Ford. Yeah, he got that. It's not a knock-on. Kurt Catewell. Will he get it down here? Gee, that's really nice from himself. He does hold him up. Buy membership most expensive in the league. You're not wrong, Brenton. The old Titans. Surprised they haven't upped their membership prices already after last week's win. The old membership department on fire. Yeah, they're not going to be able to see an angle of it going down. Okay, go. Here we go. That's a boot, I think. I think it's going to be no try held up. Yeah, based on all available camera angles, this is going to be a no try. No try. Held up. So it'll still be Warriors ball, but just back at the 10. And I think it's still like first tackle. Highlights once Warriors can finish 6th or 7th. Yeah, but I don't know. The Sharks have a pretty cruisy stretch home, and they've got a bye as well. Actually, let's not forget that the Dolphins winning would mean that if the Broncos and the Sharks won, they would also be only 2 points behind the Warriors. Fuck, you're in trouble, Warriors, if you lose this game. You are in serious trouble for that top 4. Damn, third tackle here for the Warriors, 11 metres out. I don't mean to scare you, but the Panthers, they win against the Rabbitohs, Titans, you'd be only 1 point clear of them. Warriors now 3 metres out for tackle. You'd be 1 point clear of the Panthers. You'd be 2 points clear of the Broncos and the Sharks. There's a knock on here from the Dolphins. So it's going to be Warriors 6 again, back at the 10. You'd be 1 point clear of the Panthers. You would be 2 points clear of the Broncos and the Sharks. And you'd only be 4 points clear of the Dolphins and potentially Manly if they get a win against the Roosters. So this is what I mean when I say your top 8 is not even guaranteed. You should make it. But you need to win a game or two. Like, it's just as simple as that. So the Warriors now, they're 10 metres over the line. Tanner Boyd gives it out, and the Warriors are 5 metres away from the line. Because those teams I just mentioned all have easier matchups this week. Except for maybe Manly. The Warriors, Jackson Ford, he is 10 metres out, second tackle. Second tackle here. Samuel Healy, he'll give it off to Jeremiah Tuava. And he's 3 metres away from the line, third tackle. Samuel Healy gets it out the back to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd off to Tamati Martin. 6 again here for the Warriors. Charles Nickel clocks out. He's 5 metres out, first tackle. First tackle, 5 metres away. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin off to Stowers Smith, who is 12 metres away. It really is lagging. Screw top 4. Top 8 is on panic alert for the Whites. If they lose this, it absolutely is. Out of the right side, here we go. Chance, he done with his left neck, and that's going to be a try on. No, you haven't. You haven't. Please tell me you've got that down. Please, they've called it a try. I just want to make sure of this. I think it might bounce up because he puts the ball down on the ground, which is a try. But I just want to really look at this one again. I'm pretty certain he scored it. But it's just that awkward one where, it bounces immediately after you put the ball on the ground. Surely it's a try. Surely. Yeah, surely. And I'd like to see it from a front angle. I'd like to see it. Here we go. This angle will show it. And yeah, no, definitely a try. Definitely, absolutely. My brain got tricked there. It freaked me out. It did take a while to put the ball down, which was a bit strange. It's like he wanted to go further directly in goal, not into the goalpost area. But try time with the Warriors, and they'll be down by 6 points. 18th career double, second against the Dolphins. Done with Tennessee Lesnat. Couple of tries tonight he needed to make up for his mistake before, which ultimately cost him a try, and they'll be within 6 regardless. And guess what, Brenton? Here's a little bit of something for you. Tam Boyd doesn't miss. Those flowers looking pretty good, but looking pretty good. HMCK says, when was the last time you had a pink lemonade at Titanium, big fella? What the hell are you talking about? What? The last time I had a pink lemonade at Titanium? Lagan says, wonder if Tanner will get it. Well, they are thinking about forfeiting the kick right now, but I'm pretty certain he will go. I'm pretty certain they'll go for it. And if Tanner Boyd goes for it, he never misses, mate. I just really appreciate those flowers. It's like a red and yellow flower over there. But the thing is that we don't have to worry about the flowers. They decide to take the kick, and guess what? He doesn't miss. It makes me sick how good Tanner Boyd is in conversions. He does not miss, baby. Shit. You're going to learn. You're going to learn today that Tanner Boyd does not miss it. It's just sickening how good he is on the conversions. 16-12. 16-12 it is. SNW says, New South Wales cooks the Maroons. Well, that's quite funny because I seem to remember the Queenslanders toweling the living shit out of New South Wales on your own home turf this year to win the series. Yeah, so I seem to remember that one. But thank you very much for your opinion. I'm going to go back and watch Game 3 and let's all have a circle jerk over the result there because I remember Queensland putting a score past you. So Warriors now beat the 25, now the 30, the 35, the 40. Great run by Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Okay, if they can score again before half time, if they can take the lead here, that's huge considering how this first half has gone. The Warriors now, they're going to beat the 45, second tackle. Surprise! Why does a New South Wales fan even want to talk about Origin? Brenton says, geez, have the black dot too. You're going to learn today, Brenton. You're going to learn today. You're learning. Is HNCK one of those lady boys that you met at Titaniums in Thailand? Well, I don't know what's going on. Titans Leagues Club. Titans Leagues Club? Titans Leagues Club? Are you talking about that old thing back in Surfers, back in the day, that used to be a thing? Warriors get up here, and it'll be Dolphins who grab the ball at the 3. Jacob Verlo taken down, first tackle. Are you talking about that old one, like, it was in Surfers? Is that what you're referring to? We don't... Because, yeah, you've got Parkwood, but Parkwood's not really what you're referring to. They've technically got, Dog and Parrot and the sports... Shit, what's it called at Robina Town Centre? Can't remember. The point is, there's no real Titans Leagues Club, but I'm assuming you're referring to that Titanium thing in Surfers from ages ago. If that's the case, then a very long time ago. If that's the case, then a very, very long time ago. Also, pink lemonade? I don't drink pink lemonade. Pink lemonade is not bad, but it's not my drink. So first tackle in with the Warriors, and they're 25 metres out of their own line. 1 minute to go in the first half. Lagan says, when we talk about goal kickers like Johns, Thurston, and Dane Carter, not Dan Carter, Dane Carter apparently must be his twin brother over there in New Zealand, we've got to use our thinking caps and add Tanner in this series convo. Well, Tanner doesn't need to be in that convo because he's better than all of them combined. Third tackle, the old folk, they talk about Daryl Allegan. He's got nothing on Tanner Boyd. Hazem Al-Mazra, you heard? Tanner Boyd's the man, but 20 Martin's away here. He gets the offload away. Here's down with Tennessee Lesniak. Oh, he should have passed the ball to Tanner Boyd on his left-hand side. Fourth tackle here with the Warriors, 35 metres out. Samuel Healy with a nice little quick run up the middle. Out at the 20. He rolls it out to the left. No, we'll take him down to the 25. what do you do here, Warriors? What do you do? 17 seconds left. It's fit tackle. Tanner Boyd. He's just going to put that one up into the corner. It's a good chase through here from the Warriors, but the Dolphins will get it. And Jake Avarelli will be taken down at the 5. 8 seconds to go. 8 seconds left. So is that what you were talking about, HMC? Is that the one you were talking about? All right, so halftime here in New Zealand, and it is 16-12 to the Dolphins. Actually a pretty fun first half there, to be fair. The Warriors looked like they might be getting slapped at some point, but they still found a way to keep it in this game. The Dolphins, unfortunately, lose Herbie Farnworth for the next 5 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury that you clearly saw during the game. That was a really rough one because the Dolphins would have scored there too if it wasn't for that. But let's go through some of these team stats at half time. It's 50-50% on the possession, so it tells you how even this game is. Obviously, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. And don't forget, we've got the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs at Suncorp Stadium right after this. Now, for the Warriors, they've scored 2 tries, both of them coming through Dallin Watene-Selesniak. And then the 3 tries of the Dolphins have come through Herbie Farnworth, Jeremy Marshall-King, and also Oren Keeley. Now we go to the stats. Possession-wise is 50-50. With the time possession, 12 minutes 55 for the Warriors and 12 minutes 52 for the Dolphins. So only a 3-second separator there. Now completion rate, you want to be 80% or above. You're not really going to hound too much the Warriors for a 79% completion rate. They're at 19 from 24, whilst the Dolphins are at 18 from 22 at 81%. So they're basically at the exact same possession. Well, they are at the exact same possession, and they basically are the exact same completion rate. Just an extra 2 sets there for the Warriors, but also 1 extra completed set for the Warriors. So they're basically the exact same on those completions and possession at the moment. Now, runs-wise, 85 runs for the Warriors, 85 runs for the Warriors, 70 runs for the Dolphins, with the Warriors at 836 run meters and the Dolphins at 718 run meters. So the metric that you go for a general basis on an average of 10 meters per run, it's now 86-70, so you give 16 runs extra, so that's 160 meters for the Dolphins, and they are averaging around that 10 meters per run at the moment, so this is a really good metric for this specific game. It's actually now 87-69, so you've got to give them 18 runs, and they're at 704, so they're actually averaging over the 10 meters per run. They would be, buddy, updating again. They're now at 70 for 718. So 87, now they're at 71. Oh my gosh, I hate when it updates throughout halftime. I really hate it because then you try and say something and then it'll change. 71 for 718, 87 for 860. That's a 16 run gap, so it's 160 meters, 718, 818. That's roughly around the 858. Roughly. I'm all over the shop now because this is just, buddy, it's infuriating me. Long story short, it's around the 880 meter mark, right? So it's just a little bit above the Warriors, but it's very similar. It's not too much of a gap. Jeez, we got there in the end. That was so confusing because I was saying 70, and then it went down at 69, and then went back up to 70, and then it went to 71, and the Warriors got one taken off and put on. Jeez, it's confusing. Like I always say, guys, this is a guide because it will update at halftime, but the point of the matter is run meters is relatively similar if you equate it, but for the time being, on a pure stat metric, is 860 to 717 Warriors way. Post-contact meters is 272 for the Warriors, 207 for the Dolphins. So a difficult metric to read, but you would say the Warriors are pretty confidently up by about 15-20 if you equate it. But for the time being, they are up by about 60. Actually, exactly 60 as we currently speak. Line breaks is 6-4 Dolphins way. A lot of line breaks in this game. That is a ridiculous amount of line breaks from both teams. Tackle breaks is equal at 19 apiece. This is a very even game right now. 19 tackle breaks. Now, the average set distance, anything under 25 meters on average set distance, you turn the stream off. 25 to 30 is underwhelming. 25 to 30 is disgusting. Deplorable. Not the worst ever, but it's deplorable. It's basically the worst ever, but it's not quite under 25. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is average, what you expect. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic, and 50 plus is perfect. The Warriors were at 35.85, so they are on the extremely low end of an average basic marker for a set distance. On an average set distance, 35.85 on an average set is not the greatest by any stretch of the imagination, but at least they are hitting the mark of 35, whilst the Dolphins are not doing that. They're at 33.03 right now. That is pretty poor. That's in the underwhelming category. It's more around that mid-range of underwhelming. So it is only basically about a 3-meter gap right now in the average set distance. But it's a telling point. The Dolphins are not at least hitting the 35, whilst at least the Warriors are just hitting that 35 and they're closer to 36. The average play the ball speed is 3.64 seconds there for the Warriors and 3.64 seconds for the Dolphins. The exact same play the ball speed, and it's quite slow for both those teams. 3.64 is not a fast play the ball speed. These stats are so similar at the moment. Offloads, though, big telling point. Warriors at 7, Dolphins at 1. So the Warriors are at least getting some offloads away. Forced dropouts is 1 apiece. Kick defusal is 83% for the Dolphins, 50% for the Warriors. You go to the effective tackle percentage, and oh my gosh, Dolphins. Oh my gosh, Dolphins. They would get slapped by a team in prime form. They would get slapped by a team up the top end of the table with a defensive effective tackle percentage like that. So the marker is 88%. 88% to 90% is your average, what you need to be hitting. 90% and above is basically a perfect first half. 85% to 88% is underwhelming, and anything under 85% is disgusting. You wouldn't even spit it. It's just nothing that you want to be looking at, and is pathetic. The Warriors are at 88.33%, so they're hitting the mark. They're hitting the mark defensively here as a collective. 159 tackles made for 19 missed tackles and 2 ineffective. Now, yes, 19 missed tackles is quite high up there, but the 2 ineffective really brings it back down to put them inside that 88 to 90% range. So 19 is not great. Usually you look at a 15 to 17 as an average across all teams. They're at 19. But 2 ineffective is really good. So only 21 bad tackles across the first half, with 159 tackles made, 88.33%. They're at least hitting the mark. The Dolphins are at 82.21%. 82.21%. That is one of the worst halftime stats you have seen in a very long time. They have 171 tackles made, but 22 missed tackles and a whopping 15 ineffective. That is 37 bad tackles in the first half. That is close enough to a bad tackle a minute. That is only three missed or ineffective tackles away from a bad tackle per minute in the first half. So it's actually quite wild that the Warriors are still losing this game 16-12, but it tells you a lot about the fact that the Dolphins defensively are just simply not that great. 82.21% is one of the lowest effective tackle percentages you will see in first halves. That is really, really poor. No, fair enough, Olivia. It makes sense. So, look, 21 bad tackles for the Warriors in the first half at 88.33%. There is 37 bad tackles for the Dolphins in the first half at 82.21%. That is dramatic. Then you go to the negative play. 5 errors to the Warriors, 6 errors to the Dolphins, with 3 penalties conceded each. 4 ruck infringements to the Dolphins and 2 ruck infringements for the Warriors. So the Warriors are a little bit better disciplined so far. It's not too much, though. Anything 4 and under is a very good rate of, well, not very good, but like it's the best form of error rate in a half. So neither team hits that, but they're both at a pretty average marker of 5 to 7. 5 and 6 is probably average. 7 and above is pretty poor. So both of them aren't doing too badly on the errors, but it's still kind of on the average marker. And the 3 penalties conceded each. At least we haven't seen like 12 penalties in the first half like we saw last night. So look, overall, majority of these stats across the game so far are very similar. Defensively, the Dolphins are absolutely pathetic, but yet they still lead 16-12. Tells you a lot about the Warriors' attack. The run meters is 120 meters difference right now through 15, so the Dolphins would just be above on an average equator, but right this second, the Warriors are clearly up by 120 meters, and the completion rates are fine, and the possessions are equal. So this game is well and truly still on. Whoever wants to win it more in the second half wins the game. You can't really separate a great deal, except for the defense. You can't really separate a great deal. And even though you can separate the defense on an individual metric of the defensive effective tackle percentage, at the end of the day, the team who is significantly in the advantage there is still losing 16-12. Nathan says, who would you pick as the next Rugby League Immortal? Also, is Nathan Cleary a future Immortal in Rugby League? He's done everything there is to do in Rugby League besides win State of Origin Series. No, he has won an Origin Series. And also, sure, he World Cup, it's like he still hasn't actually proved himself a great deal for Australia. He definitely hasn't proved himself in Origin, but with that being said, he at least has won Origin, so I don't know where you get that information that he hasn't won an Origin Series before. I think he's won 3, actually. He won in 2021. He won in maybe it might be 2021, and maybe 2019, maybe 2018? No, I don't think 2018. He's definitely won 2. I don't know if he's won 3, because he didn't play last year. So I believe that Nathan Cleary eventually, but we're talking 30 years away. We're talking like 20, 30. Yeah, we're talking like 30, 35, even, 30, 35 years away before Nathan Cleary even gets brought into the Immortal. But I think he will eventually get it, sure, especially for what he does in the NRL. Yeah, 2018, thank you, Logan. So he's won 3 then. What he's done in the NRL. But the next Immortal, I'd be liking to see, like a Darren Lockyer or Cameron Smith's too early. I'm probably forgetting someone. I probably am. I'm just glad Ronnie Koo got in. I think he was well and truly deserved. So how long you reckon Herbie's gone for? 5 to 6 weeks, man. 5 to 6 weeks. Big Max says, would you play the over of 51.5 for the rest of the game? It sounds like he said more points could have been scored that first half. I probably would, mate. 28 points in the first half. There was definitely points left out because Herbie Farnworth made a breakaway when he injured himself for that hamstring. He made a breakaway. It was a 2-on-1. Herbie Farnworth and Hamiso Tabuai-Whānau. And you've got a Tane Topiki, a young lad there at the back. It was a guaranteed try. Unfortunately, he did his hammy at the 40, which then prevented him from making the pass and then ultimately got tackled. So there was points left on the board there. The Warriors, if they can sort out a little bit of attack here, but the only issue towards that bet is that the Dolphins are a very attacking team, but the Warriors are one of the worst attacking teams in the competition. They sit around the bottom 5. I think they're 12th, so it's bottom 6. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Yeah, bottom 6. So the Warriors are not an attacking team, but the Dolphins aren't a great defensive team. The Warriors are a pretty solid defensive team. So, look, I would personally go over. Obviously, I'm not telling you what to do. I would personally lean towards the over, yeah. Like I said, definite Immortal purely on NRL level. Agree, but this is way too early to be talking about that. Maloney Pierce, what are you talking about? Yeah, Jay's just dropped the link there. Broncos vs Rabbits live from Vietnam. We are in Vietnam. The old Ho Chi Minh. Get around it. Alright, let me just check that. Beautiful. Still half time here, guys. Still half time. That's a good game, though. Not a bad game. Just would like to see the Dolphins actually get a bit of a better defensive rating. Get ready to watch a massacre. Yeah, I guarantee you probably thought that with the Broncos versus the Eels last week too, though. I really don't know what it is about the Broncos. I don't know how they sell you this dream. They sell people this dream as if they are like a big dog this year. And I can tell you for free that they are not a big dog this year. If you watch their games every single week, if you see their error rate, you see their penalty count against them, and then you look at the opposition that they're playing, you recognise that this team will probably make the 8 this year, but also will be lucky to make the 8 this year. They are the exact same team as the Roosters. They're the exact same team. I would love to see the Broncos play the Roosters. Do they get to play each other for the back end of this year? Because it'll be who wants to lose the game more. That is how the Broncos play. Broncos fans might hate it, but it's true. Look at your statistics. Dead set. Look at your statistics. No, I don't think you played the Roosters because I think you played them twice and you won one, you lost one, which tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, you did. You won the first game 50-14, and then the next game you lost from 26-16, which tells you everything you need to know. That's my point right there. Case closed. Everyone seems to just jump on this bandwagon of the Broncos. It's like, who'd they beat? Who'd they beat in that run? Who'd they beat? The Sharks were on the scam at that point because they'd lost that many games. They beat the Titans twice, who was 17th both times. They beat the Warriors in a very vulnerable situation, and we can see what they're doing right this very second, but that's probably their best win of the lot. They beat the Bulldogs when they both had no Origin players in, and then they got loose to the Eels. You know what? What wagon? This wagon's got no second wheel. A wagon's got a one wheel with the Broncos. If the Rabbitohs can defend, I absolutely can see the Broncos slap them, but also the Broncos are not the team that people make them out to be. They're nowhere close to being a premiership contender. They really aren't. They aren't, with the way that their team operates. Ezra, last week was the best opportunity for the Broncos to prove themselves as a big-time team. They should have come in, they should have wiped the absolute floor with the Eels, but they didn't. They continue to play like they normally play. Ezra Mam didn't turn up. Adam Reynolds didn't turn up. Ben Hunt still hasn't gotten to Suncorp Stadium a week later. He still hasn't arrived for that Eels game. Payne Hunt. Reece Walsh, the only one to turn up, and because those other 3 cats didn't turn up, he then had to be the only player to actually really put an emphasis into the game, and because of that, made a lot of mistakes. I don't know where this absolute false sense of security with the Broncos comes from, besides a pure just looking at their win-loss record. That's the only thing I see. Like I said, if you don't think the Broncos have an attitude problem, then buy glasses. What? Me? I just sat here and roasted them for 3 minutes, mate. I just sat here and roasted them for 3 minutes. I know you're not referring to me. Big Mac said, I don't bet the house that we're good. I'm just learning rugby and enjoying it. It's what I would personally do, mate. But with that being said, I will also say to people, it's not my fault if you take my advice and then don't win. But I would probably lean towards the over, yeah. Nicholas, good evening, people. Hello, sir. Islands fans, did you say who you think will go on and win this game? No, I said it's a 50-50 game. Whoever comes out in this first 10 minutes and just shows they want it more probably wins this game based on the stats being very equal at half-time, but it's just the defence of the Dolphins has been pathetic. It has been. It's 82.3% or something like that. One of the lowest defensive effective tackle percentages at half-time across the season. But yet they've only conceded 12, but that's more on the Warriors being a poor attacking team in 12th on the attack than anything else. Matt on Sport TV says, I think we sometimes get way too complacent against bottom teams, and it's so frustrating. Agree. Big Mac says, I haven't picked a team. I live in the States and just trying to completely understand still. No, good stuff, man. We're seeing a lot more of the American audience coming in this year, which is great to see considering people doubt the Vegas venture. But I can tell you, it is doing numbers. I see it on my statistics, let alone what KO and, maybe not KO, but what the NRL would be noticing. Second tackle here for the Dolphins at the 30. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Second half year, and then we've got Broncos Rabbits right after this. Logan says, I hope Ezra doesn't show up the rest of his career. No, I agree. Shouldn't even be playing. Fourth tackle for the Dolphins at the 50. King Savage says, up to Wards, we need a win here. Absolutely. You definitely do, because if you lose this game here, Warriors, the Panthers are probably going to be down on you by 1 point. The Broncos and the Sharks should only be down on you by 2 points, and the Dolphins will be guaranteed down on you by 4 points, which means you are absolutely susceptible to missing out in the top 4, absolutely susceptible to missing out in the top 6, which means you won't get a home final, and there is the possibility with Manly winning over the Roosters, you'd only be 6 points away from dropping out of the 8. So, and don't forget, the Sharks also still have a bye. So third tackle now at the 25. Ball Collector says, do you think the Warriors should become the Auckland Warriors? Yes. Always bugs me having a nation versus city. This is also what bugs me about PNG joining. I agree for a different reason than you. The reason why I agree is because they're going to bring in the South Island team. When they bring in the South Island team, they'll go back to the Auckland Warriors. I couldn't care for what you're referring to, without insulting you. I'm saying I couldn't care less about that suggestion. But that's a high tackle here against Nichols. This will be a penalty to the Warriors. This is going to be direct shoulder contact to the head. This might actually be a bin here. Mark Nichols might go to the bin. So yeah, not agreeing with you on your specific reasoning, but I am agreeing with the fact to call them the Auckland Warriors, so then you can bring in the South Island team and then call them, their city name. I definitely agree with keeping it as Papua New Guinea, though. Definitely agree. All right. So it's going to be Warriors here at the 40. There was no bin, but it was on a report there from Mark Nichols. So first tackle here for the Warriors at the 40. Larkin says, Gaskell was right when he said bringing the game to an international level is the greatest way to grow the game. Well, anyone with a brain would say that. What? I wouldn't necessarily say that's a Gaskell special. That's an anyone with a brain special there. Of course, growing the game internationally is the greatest way to grow it. We've completely encapsulated Papua New Guinea, maybe not New Zealand, but it's growing and growing and growing. Fiji, Samoa, Tonga. Fiji is still growing as well, though. Samoa and Tonga have definitely gone towards the rugby league side. Cook Islands is now, that's a bad play the ball. That's a bad play the ball, referee. Come on. Fourth tackle of the Warriors, the 10. Now, fifth tackle, Adam Pompey, 5 metres out. It'll never take over in America, but it will grow. But it will never take over like NFL and whatnot. It's a monopoly there for those 4 sports. Up it goes. Dolphins in goal. That'll be a 7-tackle set coming up for the Dolphins. Bennett says, the true fraud is your Titans sitting on top of the ladder up the Bronx. You can say that all you like, mate, but they're top of the ladder. So Dolphins now will get this ball here to the 25. Oh, did someone hurt your feelings? Did someone hurt your feelings, Benj? Ben! Come on. Did I hurt your feelings? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. First tackle here for the Dolphins of the 40. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight, Ben. Come on. I'm just trying to, survive. The second tackle at the 50. They go left-hand side off to Mark Nichols. And Mark Nichols will be third tackle here at the 40. Lagan says, yeah, I know, but he was sort of the first person to bring it to light all those years ago. No, this is just a typical bull. No, this is just simply not the case. This is 100% just a Bulldogs fan trying to get on the Gus Gould wagon there. Whilst I get it and defending you, like backing in your guide, but that's just simply not the case. It simply just isn't the case. And that's on Sport TV says if Bronx can't get up against the Bunnies tonight, then seriously, I'm done. No, I get you. There's no way the Broncos should be losing that game. No way they should be losing. Brent says should get South Africa in the comp. Well, they are slightly growing it, but rugby union will never take over. So rugby union will never be taken over in South Africa because rugby union means more to South Africans than just a sport. There was a lot of unity about what happened in the 90s and whatnot. Even though Invictus was just a massive propaganda movie, the point still remains. Fifth tackle here for the Warriors, the 50. Those Americans, on the other hand, believe that their domestic leagues are the world championships. Now, that's a whole different conversation, that. All right, so Dolphins now will be first tackle here at the 28. First tackle at the 28. What's it mean by fraud alert? Well, it means that a team's looking like fraudsters, and we're definitely on alert in the NRL community. Third tackle here for the Dolphins at the 35. Sorry, 25. Now it's the third tackle at 35, so it was actually right. I actually saw the future just there. Rugby union is a religion in South Africa, absolutely. And so it is in New Zealand too, but it's not as strong as it once was. But it still is in New Zealand. It's just not as strong as it once was. And rugby league has definitely been growing. So Dolphins here at the 38. I am looking forward to the Box versus All Blacks part. So Dolphins work it to the 10, and they'll be taken to our picky grabbing it. Big Max's Americans are too stubborn. They'll always call it football light and say it is an entertainment without watching. The biggest issue to rugby league in America, second tackle for the Warriors 15, is that it's on at an awful time slot. When I was living in Chicago, I was watching my Titans come last place in 2019 at 1 in the morning. I was having to stay up or wake up at ridiculous time slots, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., just to watch my team come last. So it's very difficult for Americans to get into a game that they can't watch at a reasonable time. And also the monopoly of the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and ice hockey wouldn't... Like, ice hockey even struggles at points, but those four sports would never allow it to really grow, especially the NFL. Has way too much money and influence. So Dolphins will get at the 15, they get the cross hit at Hamiso, and Hamiso will bring this ball to the 20 on first tackle. Nikhil says rugby is religion in Fiji. Sevens is, not necessarily 15s, but rugby sevens absolutely is a religion in Fiji. Second tackle now for the Dolphins at the 25. Lions just wish old Rugby Australia came back. Well, they got robbed against the British and Irish Lions on last Saturday. All right, third tackle here at the 35. Oh, that's forward pass. Oh, that was a bad forward pass from the Dolphins. And the Warriors are going to get this ball to 35. That was awful from Kurt Donahue. That was an awful forward pass there from Donahue. Gee whiz. That's literally 2-3 metres forward. Literally. Warriors, great attacking opportunity here. 35 metres out. Here we go. Daisy says, Matt, did someone hurt your feelings in Reese Species washing field? What are you doing? And Reese Species washing feeling. I don't know what just happened there. Lagan says, go to Fiji late September, early October, planning on seeing a game at HFC Bank Stadium. What game? What game? That must be a random one-off against somebody. Second tackle, maybe a Samoa or Tonga or someone like that. At the back here for the Warriors, they're 15 metres out. Tane Tuolpiki. And Tane Tuolpiki will be taken out the 20, but that'll be 15, so that won't be... Oh, it might be 7s. Any rugby game, you'll struggle. The best time to go to Fiji and watch a rugby game is when the Drua are playing. Fiji and Drua when they're playing the Super Rugby between February and May, June. Fourth tackle now with the Warriors, the 15. They go to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the back now to Marty Martin. Short ball. Kurt Catewell could be 5 metres out. Fit tackle. 5 metres out. I think you'll struggle to find a game then, Logan. Best time is when the Drew will play. But maybe you'll luck out and Fiji will play a game. They'll probably actually be in the north. That's knocked back there from Hadasima. And the Dolphins will get the ball here at the 8. I feel like Fiji will probably be in the Northern Hemisphere at that point. You might be out of luck. JC Smoke, you hurt my brain with that comment. The Dolphins' third tackle here at the 20. The Warriors have definitely been the better team in the first 8-9 minutes here in the second half. Yes, Nikhil. ANZ's saying change its name. It's down the road from my house when I'm back home in Fiji. Yeah, it's HSC Bank Stadium. Oh, it might even be different now. I know it was that, but it changes names quite frequently nowadays. Fit tackle at the 35. It's similar to Metricon Stadium and then whatever it's called now on the Gold Coast. So the Warriors will pick this ball up here at the 15. Tane Tuapiki to the 25 to the 30. And it'll be first tackle. 30 minutes to go here of the game. Only a 4-point game here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. A very important game to win for both these teams. A very important game. Cool, Walsh. Reese. Okay. Your English not really Englishing, but I get what you're trying to do. Third tackle now for the Warriors, the 45, and Aaron Clark gets inside the attacking half now to the 45 on the Dolphins side of the field. Fourth tackle. Jason's Lagan won't last 10 minutes in Fiji. Valid. David says League has actually started to kill union viewership numbers in NZ. I know. They're realising how much better a viewing product League is. If the Wires win the comp and the second team does bits, rip NZRU. Good take there by Hermes with the 10. I agree with this. Obviously, I can't really have too much of a say because I'm not from New Zealand and only Kiwis will be able to give us a better explanation on this. But based off of numbers, yeah, rugby union has been very much going backwards, and that is based off of the fact that it's become a very slow game nowadays. It has. It's become very slow. And when you've got idiots like Buddy Eddie around the joint, you know there's a problem. But the ball's just not in play anywhere near as much as it is in rugby league, and that is a big part of the growth. So Dolphins now will get this ball to the 40 on fit tackle. John says, what was the score last time they played? This score flipped. The Warriors won 16-12 the last time these two teams played. I'm pretty certain. All right, so the Warriors now beat the 15, then to the 20, 25. Oh, nearly got through. Tanto Peggy, but taken down. Matt says, who's won the comp this year? Besides the Titans, until proven otherwise, I'm probably going the Raiders still. Besides the Titans, I'm probably still having to go with the Raiders. But they are due a loss. I just need to see them bounce back from that loss. But they will lose the game from here on to the back end of the season. It's just about them bouncing back. So Warriors here, they'll beat the 44, fourth tackle. 29 minutes left. And knock on for the Warriors. That's a bad play the ball there from the Warriors. The Dolphins can get the ball at the 40. 29 minutes left. Jackson Ford complaining about it. They got to keep their challenge before, didn't they? I think they did. Like, you can't... I don't understand how that's classed as a bad play the ball, but the other one that I mentioned before was allowed. Like, he's still... I know he's falling over, but at the end of the day, he still played the ball. He should have... Yeah, I agree with Michael Ennis here. He shouldn't be punished for it. So Healy comes off for Lussick for the Warriors. SNW says Maroons is better than New South Wales. Thanks, mate. I still remember your comment before saying that New South Wales cooked Queensland or some shit, which was really odd, but nice to see you join the light side. Now Dolphins here. Jake Averillo. Averilla's away. Averilla's away. The 20, the 15, the 10, and a great defense. It's going to be Dolphins ball here at the 10, unless they say that Watini Lesnack doesn't deliberately touch the ball. This might actually be Warriors ball. They might say that this is not played at, and it's actually Warriors ball. Good defense there from the Warriors. Taintwell Pickey stops Averillo from scoring in the corner, and he flicks the ball back inside. I reckon they're going to say that Watini Lesnack doesn't intentionally touch it. Yeah, no, I think that's what they're probably going to call. Great covering tackle there from Taintwell Pickey, and yeah, no. Yeah, he doesn't play that ball. So this should be Warriors ball at the 10. Yep, and it is. So first tackle now for the Warriors, the 15. Great play there from Taintwell Pickey. Great play. Nikhil says, New Zealand Rugby Union have messed up a lot. All the youth pathways are gone, whilst NRL teams are poaching youth and rugby players are getting paid more in places like Japan nowadays. Correct. Similar thing that happened with Australia, but ours was 25 years ago. Kurt Catewell here breaks away. He was on the wing and now he's at the 50. Third tackle for the Warriors. They've definitely been the better team in the second half. They just can't put the points on the board right now, the Wires. Aaron Clark punches off one and he'll be 35 metres out here from the line. 4 tackle. Great run from Ez. Lussick, he'll get it to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd underneath to Jeremiah Tuava. He'll flick it off to Jackson Ford, and Jackson Ford will get this ball to the 20. Great offloads from the Warriors in this game. 5th tackle now. They go out to the right to Tanner Boyd. And Tanner Boyd puts this one up into the corner. Better kick from him. Knocked back from the Warriors, and it's going to come back here to the 25. Leka Halasima, Dalmatese Lesniak. Flick the ball off, he gives it out to Tanner Boyd, and then they just kick this ball into the corner. No one's back there playing fullback. They might be able to take him back in the in goal here. This might work out for him. No, Hamiso, good work. Oh my gosh, this is all over the shop. And Mark Nichols is allowed to get out. I don't know what Jackson Ford was doing there, but the Dolphins luckily get out of the in goal, and they'll be at the 8. Jeez, that was a crazy sequence of events. This is a fun game to watch. Second tackle now for the Dolphins at the 13. Bronx Rabbits up next. We will be live for it. Now be third tackle here for the Dolphins at the 20. The Warriors just have to find a way to score, mate. And this is the thing with the American guy was asking about the over and under of that 51.5. There has not been any points for the first 15 minutes here. And this is why it was, like, I did go for the over, but with that being said, the Dolphins they're going up against a better defensive Warriors team. And the Warriors, despite the fact that the Dolphins got pieced apart in regards to the effective tackle percentage, the Warriors just are they're 12th place for their attack this season. So you might get unlucky here, man. But maybe you see that when a try is scored, the floodgates get open for both teams because this is such an important game. But maybe I should have actually looked at the context of it and thought this is going to be a grind based on the fact that this is a very important game here for both these teams. And maybe we don't see points on the basis that they're both very desperate for a win here. Third tackle at 35. They give it off to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and he'll be at the 40. Debbie says, who do you think will win? I think I might lean with the Warriors at the moment. I tipped the Dolphins before the game. Based off of the first 55 minutes, I might lean with the Warriors, but it just comes down to if they can actually get some semblance of an attack going at any point. They just need to get some semblance of an attack. So the Dolphins now, first tackle at the 22. There is no attack from the Dolphins, from the Warriors. And you could even argue from the Dolphins too. It was a big loss of Herbie Farnworth. Massive loss. All right, now Hamiso, he'll get this ball to the 35, third tackle. The Dolphins are not making many meters themselves. We'll say, Isaiah Katoa hasn't really been too heavily involved in this game in comparison to what you would normally expect out of him. Nicarima gives it out. They go left-hand side to Jake Avrillo. This game is proving a lot, though, about the fact that the Dolphins, they're able to score huge points against very lowly ranked teams, but when they come up against the better teams, got beaten by the Sharks, got beaten by the Warriors the last time out, and this is a close one here. Debbie says, do you think the Warriors should be in the top 4 after last week's loss? Absolutely, because they've got enough points up until last week's game. One game doesn't define a season. So the Warriors now attain to a pick against this spot at the 25. At the end of the day, they've won more games than the teams below them, so they deserve to be in their spot. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at the 25. Kurt Catewell, he's at the 30. He'll flick that ball off here to Nickel Klokstad, and Klokstad gets away from a couple. He's at the 45, the 50. Good run. Second tackle here for the Warriors. Big Max says, you win some, you lose some. I'm still enjoying the game. Well, your bet's not over yet, but it really has turned into a grind here. And a good, positive grind rather than a boring, slow grind, which is kind of what we saw last night in the Storm Eels game. Tanner Boyd out the back into Tamani Martin. Tamani Martin, short ball to Leka Halasima. And Halasima is going to be at the 25, 4 tackle. 4 tackle. Lussick, Tamani Martin. And now they're 15 minutes out. The Warriors are the only ones attacking. They just don't have the last play, the clinical options. Tanner Boyd to Tamani Martin. He puts that ball over the top, and that's going to sit perfectly. It'll be drop out. Beautiful kick there from Tamani Martin, and that's going to be a drop out from the Dolphins. The Warriors are about to go back on the attack again, you would assume. And look at the poll. We're basically 450 votes down, and it's 50-50 in the poll right now in the chat. Keep voting away in the poll. Let us know who you think is going to win. Right now, it is extremely close in a very important game. Brenton says, yeah, the Finns look flat attack. Absolutely. Get around you, Sean. Get around you. 23 minutes left here. Only 4 points. No change to the score since halftime. So short drop out here from the Dolphins. Bold call, but it has worked out a couple times so far. But that's going to be Warriors getting the ball with a knockback to the 30. And now they're going to be 20 metres away. No, he's away. He's taking out the 10. Jeez, Jacob Laban, great run. He's 8 metres away from the line. First tackle. Huge opportunity now. Huge opportunity here for the Warriors to take the lead, Aaron Clark. He's 1 metre short, second tackle. Sounds like next try wins, I reckon. Oh, there's a long way to go, David. 22 minutes. It's not next try wins, but I get ya. And Adam Pompey is going to be 5 metres out from the line, third tackle. This is the thing. The Warriors have been down here. They just don't have the fifth tackle option. Tanner Boyd gives it off to Jacob Laban. 9 metres out from the line. Fourth tackle. Rolls it back into Lussick. Lussick off to Aaron Clark. Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the back now to Tamati Martin. Charles Nicholl-Klokstad. He's 8 metres away on fifth tackle. Good defense in the Dolphins at the moment. But again, Wars just don't know how to score when they're in the range. Now Tanner Boyd, got a good kick up here. He puts in a good area kick. Oh, I think that's a try. I think this is a try of the Warriors. This will be interesting to see if someone's got a hand on him when he's on the ground. But they've caught a try. It is 16-16 with a kick to come. That was a good kick there from Tan. I just need to make sure that a Dolphins player doesn't put his hand down on Leka Hadasima. They just need to make sure there's no hand on the player. No hand on Hadasima when he comes down to the ground here. But it's 16-16 with the kick to come, and Tanner Boyd doesn't miss, Brandon. Tanner Boyd doesn't miss. Has he missed today? The answer is no, son. Because guess what? He doesn't miss. Because he comes down, ball hits the ground, but I don't know if a Dolphins player is on him or not. Yeah, no, it's a try. No, they haven't called it yet. They haven't called it as a confirmed try just yet, but you can't tell me that Avarillo has made a tackle there, and he's allowed to get back up, and he's allowed to put that ball down on the line. This should be a try here. Just wait for the try to be confirmed. And that was a great kick from Tan. Great kick from Tan. A huge try there from the hype man, Leka Hadasima. Scored a bunch of tries. He probably will be Rookie of the Year, Hadasima. He probably will be. So 20 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, get into the chat, comment away, let us know who you think wins it from here. The Dolphins need a win to maintain their spot in the top 8, and the Warriors absolutely desperately need a win. Otherwise, they are probably only going to be 4 points away from 8th position by the end of the round. Crazy to think about. Crazy. And 6 points away from dropping out of the 8 if they lose. Sean James, a missed call so far. Who is leading the play, not the scoreboard? Oh, he just got the kick. But that's because he doesn't miss. You see my face? I was never worried. I was actually worried for the people who were doubting him. If you saw worry in my face. Because you never doubt Tanner Boyd. Because guess what? He does not miss. Doesn't matter what language you speak in, what accent you speak in. Tanner Boyd does not miss. He does not miss. He never misses ever. 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 So 18-16 here to the Warriors with 19.5 minutes to go here at the game. Warriors keeping themselves in that top 4 right now, but it is a tough one. Debbie says, love the game. Dolphins have good defense, but Warriors have good attack. Dolphins don't have good defense, though. That's the issue. They haven't. Like, their defensive effective tackle percentage, let's go have a look at it in the second half. They've improved it from 82% to 84.5%, but that's still in the despicable range. That's still very bad. The Dolphins have not been good defensively today on an effective tackle percentage. The Warriors in the second half have actually regressed as well from 88.3% to 87.68%, which puts them into an underwhelming category, which is still much better than the Dolphins, but it's not great. So 4 tackled here for the Warriors, and they're going to be 38 metres out from their own line, 4 tackle. Bretton says, if only he got a sniff jar every time he gets asked that question. Yeah, no, I would have a full room full of herbal inhalers from Thailand if that was the case. So Lussick off to Tanner Boyd, and Tanner Boyd's going to kick this ball about to the 20 for the Dolphins. It's going to be Jake Avarillo who brings out into the 25. I'm telling you right now, this is validating my beliefs that the Dolphins, where they win or lose this game, you've got to remember there are 7 players out here for the Warriors. You have got Tane Tuapiki coming in with the 14 to the 1. You've got Chance Newell-Klokstad going from the 1 to the 3. You've got Kurt Catewell going from the 3 to the 11 to the 12. You have got you're starting 9 out, you're starting 7 out, you've got players out galore and shifted across positions who are in unnatural positions, and yet the Dolphins are still getting beaten by the Warriors here. It's all well and good to go and slap up teams like the Cowboys and slap up all these teams down the bottom of the table, but then you come up against a team that is in a relative range despite all their injuries and players out, and you're struggling to beat them, and they just lost to the 17th place Titans last week. Like, you know what I mean? It's validating my opinion that the Dolphins hadn't proven shit yet. They could still win this game, but at the end of the day, that's a bad kick from Isai Katoa, and it's going to be Warriors ball here at their own 17. At the end of the day, my opinion has been validated by the fact that they've beaten up on nobodies, and they needed to come in and beat up on a very weakened Warriors team here today who just lost the 17th place last week, and yet they're down by 2 points with 17 minutes to go and their defense has been pathetic. Yes, you lost Herbie Farnworth, but the Warriors have got players out galore and have got players out of position. You should be slapping them. 4th tackle now for the Warriors, and they're at the 30. And if you disagree with me in the comment section, please let me know why. If you do, you're entitled to your opinion. If you disagree with what I'm saying here, please let me know in the comment section. So 5th tackle, and Tanner Boyd is going to get this one to about the 15, where Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow now brings it back out to the 20, the 25, the 30, taken down. Debbie says, if it wasn't for this channel, I wouldn't be able to listen to the footy while in Indonesia. I love the live streams. Appreciate you, Debbie. Well, I'm not too far away from you in Indonesia. I'm in Vietnam, so I'm not too far away from you. 2nd tackle now for the Dolphins. They're at the 37. John says the irony of points differential. The irony of points differential between these two sides. Absolutely, 169 for the Dolphins and 28 for the Warriors. Yeah, Warriors 28 and 169 for the Dolphins. I got those two locked down in the memory. Absolutely. You know, and the Warriors are a top 4 team. The Dolphins are in 8th position, and the Dolphins are at plus 169. The Warriors are at plus 28, and yet the Warriors are winning 18-16. And there is a mistake there from the Dolphins, and the Warriors are going to get the ball here at the 35 on their own side of the field. Huge play from the Wars. Huge play from the Waz. Jay has like a running rivalry. A running rivalry with it. Kill says, how long left on the clock? Well, the clock is down there. Captain's challenging for the Dolphins, mind you. The clock is down there, but 64 minutes gone, so there's 16 minutes and 16 seconds to go here in the game. But if you ever want to know kind of a guide to what the minutes are, just look there. That is going to be, I think, they're going to actually say this is a knock-on here from Lussick. I would actually disagree with that on the basis that Isai Katoa still has the ball in his hands when Lussick is just making a tackle. So Lussick's hand comes in contact with the ball whilst it's in Isai Katoa's hand, which then justifies it as a knock-on against Katoa because it's a loose carry. If he had released the ball, then it would be a knock-on against Freddie Lussick. But at the end of the day, Katoa still had his hands on the ball, so that's a loose carry. That's a loose carry. David says, love it from the Yasawas in Fiji. Tosa Viti, son. Good on you over there in the Yasawas. Looking forward to getting back to my family in Fiji, probably in November, late October this year. So the Dolphins now, they're 33 minutes out from the line. I disagree with that call. I would say that was actually a loose carry because he hadn't released the ball yet. First tackle here for Isai Katoa, and Molo, he'll get the ball to the 22 on 2nd tackle. I agree, John. I think that should have been a loose carry. I think that was the wrong call from the referees, and the Warriors might get punished here for it. So the Dolphins, they go to 13 metres out. 3rd tackle. Wobblix Tawa. They get to Kurt Donahue. Donahue at the back down of Isai Katoa. Isai Katoa gets it off to Nikorima. Nikorima goes himself. Oh, Delamatini-Zelezniak with the intercept. He's away here. The 10, the 15, the 20. Oh my gosh, that's huge from Delamatini-Zelezniak, mate. I thought that was going to be a Dolphins try, but Delamatini-Zelezniak with a huge intercept just then and brings out to the 33. That is unbelievable play there from Dallin. That is unbelievable play there from Dallin. 2nd tackle now for the Warriors, and they're going to beat the 40. Murata Niokore, that I agree with Michael Ennis here. That was the biggest play of the night. That was huge. Dallin might have made a mistake earlier on, but he's also scored 2 tries, and that's also a huge play that has kept the Warriors in the lead here because there was 2 players outside of Dallin as well. Debbie says, do you think the Panthers will get into the top 3? No. 3rd tackle now at the 50. They go to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd gets it out to Adam Pompey, and Pompey, great run to the 35, 4th tackle. Sally Mason seems Dolphins rely too much on Herbie. There has been a significant difference here between when they were playing with Herbie and when they're now without him. They have really lost out in that department. And that's not even a shot at Orbilis Tawa. That is just saying that Herbie Farmworth is such an incredible player. Chance Nicoll-Klokstad gets away from one play and then will be taken down 25 metres out, fit tackle. That's arguably a 6 again there that should have been called for the Warriors. It should have been called. A couple of calls I've disagreed with here from the referee in the last few moments, but it's Ashley Klein, so not surprised. And Dolphins will get the ball at 10. No, that's not a penalty. Warriors fans trying to claim that one. No way. It was not an escort. The crowd can boo it all they like. That was not an escort against the Dolphins. Second tackle now at 15 for the Dolphins. 14 minutes to go through the game. And the Killers, after the recent criticism for Daniel Martinez-Lesniak, what a game today. Absolutely. Still made a couple of mistakes, but it wasn't the same mistakes that people are complaining about him for, and has, again, scored 2 tries, plus also that huge defensive play just now, which actually would align with why people were criticising him, because he actually came inside based off of his centre's movements, but he gets the intercept off it. So fit tackle now for the Dolphins at the 45, because if he stays out in his wing, it's a 2-on-1 to get slapped. And Asai Katoa, he's going to hit this ball down to the corner where it will be Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at the 15. Brings out the 20, the 25. He's away here, the 30, the 35, the 40. Taken down to the 45. Huge run there from Roger, though, and Jermaine Sarko locks him down late. Massive run by Roger. What a game this is, by the way. A very good game. Second tackle here for the Warriors at the 40. I have a significant... my doubts about the Dolphins have been validated. They really have been. Second tackle, and it's hard to go against the grain. When you're in a position, when you're on social media and you put stuff out for people to watch and you give opinions and whatnot, it's very difficult to go against the grain of what the general consensus is. But when a team's scoring 50 points for free, for easy, against absolutely no hopers, but people don't look at that, when they're scoring 50 points every 2 seconds, Warriors here, 10 metres out, fit tackle, it's hard to go against the grain. But I'm kind of glad that I did, because the Warriors shouldn't be winning this game with how many outs they've got, and especially with how the Dolphins have been recently. So Warriors now 10 metres away from the line. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on fit tackle. He's going to get the offload to the ground, and it's going to be fit tackle. Fit tackle. It tells me everything I need to know about the Dolphins, man. Jared Ford says the Warriors have a fantastic strength through their entire squad via New South Wales Cup. I don't know what you're actually saying. Jav says, do you think Daniel Martinez-Lesniak will get his hat trick? I would love to see it, mate. I don't know if the... you know what? Someone said before that it might be next try wins, and this was before the last Warriors try. I could now agree with that. I didn't necessarily agree with that at time with 23 minutes to go. Now with 12 minutes to go, it is very much seeming like this game might finish 18-16, but it's going to go right down to the wire. So Cody Nikorima, he'll get that offload away, and the Dolphins might have space here. They've got numbers. Hamisa Tabuai-Fidow, he's going to flick it out right-hand side. They give it off to Oren Keeley, and Keeley's going to get the 50 on 4th tackle. Huge set here from the Dolphins. Dovey says, are you happy the Dolphins are losing? I couldn't care less than my team. They're not playing around my position of the Titans. But I just enjoy rugby league, so no, I've got no problem. So 4th tackle here at the 50. And they'll roll it back out. Jake Averillo, he gets 50. I don't know what that run was. And they've kicked the ball through. A little bit of a dink here. This is actually going to bounce up. Oh, the ball didn't bounce perfectly, and that's a knock-on from the Dolphins. No, Molo's knocked that ball on. No, Molo's knocked that ball on Ashley Klein. No, incorrect. Oh, they've called this as a knock-on against the Warriors, so now it's a fresh set of 6 here for the Dolphins. Molo definitely knocked that ball on. So second tackle, yeah, I can't believe, I must be wrong here. I mustn't have seen it, but I didn't even see where the Warriors knocked that ball on. Third tackle now at the 15. Yeah, Molo definitely dropped that, Jav. I disagree with that call from Ashley Klein. But then again, it's Ashley Klein, not surprised. Great defense, Tan. That's my boy. Good defense, Tan. 4th tackle at the 15 for the Dolphins. Rushed out of the line and really locked it down early. 4th tackle. 11 minutes left. They go to the right-hand side of Kurt Donahue. Donahue off to Molo, and Molo's going to be fit tackle 10 metres out. Fit tackle 10 metres away. They go Marshall King to Kurt Donahue. Good Warriors crowd getting behind their team right now. Nikorima gives it off to Averillo, and that's going to hit Grasson McGrasson over the sideline. Good defense was. Good defense was. 10 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Keep letting me know in the chat who you think wins this one. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We've got the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs right after this. But right now, in a very crucial game for both these teams, the Warriors are just doing enough to keep themselves in that top 4 away from even potential. If they win this game, the top 8 is guaranteed. They lose this game, the top 8 is nowhere near guaranteed, let alone the top 4. Whilst the Dolphins, they lose this game, and then they need the Roosters to beat Manly. If Manly beat the Roosters, they'll drop out of the 8. If the Roosters beat Manly, then the Dolphins will stay 8th, but they'll be equal with the Dolphins. And the Dolphins will stay 8th, but they'll be equal with Roosters and Manly. So they'll be big Roosters fans when those two teams play. Second tackle now for the Warriors at the 30. And this is why I keep saying to you guys, this is such a big game context-wise for both of these teams. Two different reasons, but could be similar reasons if the Warriors were to lose. Third tackle now for the Warriors, and Taintua Piki has gone down injured here. God bless him. That's rough to see. The Warriors have got plenty of injuries at the moment. Fourth tackle now for the Warriors at the 50. Lagan says, screw you, Dolphins. Why? Fifth tackle now. You're a Bulldogs fan. Why? 35 metres out. Murata near Croy. Huge run. 9.5 minutes left. Austin says, is there a turnover after a certain number of tackles, or are you just announcing? Every 5 tackles. Oh, it's an obstruction against the Warriors here, so it's a penalty to the Dolphins. So, Austin, you get given 5 tackles, right? Well, 6 tackles, but usually on the 5th is when, obviously, you see a kick or a big play. So, yeah, there is 5 tackles to make it easier for you. There is actually 6, but 5 tackles to make it easier for you. So 9 minutes to go here for the game. The Dolphins receive a huge penalty there with a obstruction because Tanaboy clearly goes behind a player. That was ridiculous from Tan. Ridiculous. Alvis is Rabbits for the win. Well, we'll be live streaming that Rabbitohs-Broncos game right after this, man. So we'll see and talk about that one on that stream. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go here. The Dolphins with another prime opportunity to score. High-scoring team against a high defensive team. And the Dolphins, they get through, but take it down to the 22nd tackle. Huge set here. They give it out to Kurt Donahue, and Donahue's at the 15, and he'll offload to Felice Kafusi. Kafusi gives it back here to Nikorima, and Nikorima will get this ball to the 13. Jav says, which player has impressed you the most today? Probably Dallin. Probably Dallin Martinez. Now, yes, he's made mistakes, but he's also scored 2 tries and had a massive defensive play to prevent a try from the Dolphins just before. 4th tackle, 5 metres out from the line. 8 minutes, 15 seconds to go here of the game. The Dolphins, Marshall King, Kurt Donahue, out to Isaka Toa. Isaka Toa hits the grass. Not a good play there. Avarillo picks it up at the 10. He steps, but he'll be taken down. 5 metres out from the line, 5th tackle. Great defensive play from Leka Halasima. They go out to the left-hand side, short side. Marshall King, Isaka Toa, kicks it through. Try time for the Dolphins. I think Nikorima scored here. I think Nikorima has scored. He has scored. It is 20-18 to the Dolphins with the kick to come. Great kick there from Isaiah Katoa. It was very close because there was a couple of Warriors players right next to where the ball is, but Nikorima has put his hand down over the line. It's a 2-point game. Still plenty of time for you here, Warriors, but the Dolphins have found a way to get over the line. Unless you see Taintua Piki get to this one, but I do think that Nikorima puts his hands down on the ball first. And it was actually a bit of a shonky kick from Isaiah Katoa, but it's just worked out. And, oh, he's knocked it on. He's knocked it on, lads. Warriors, you will still keep it the lead. No try. No try. Nikorima has knocked this ball on. He has knocked this ball on. You will still be leading 18-16. It's a miracle. It's a miracle, Warriors fans. Your top 4 hopes have stayed alive. Oh my gosh, that's a heart attack. That is a heart attack there. The Dolphins will knock it on over the line. So the Warriors now will get a 7-tackle set there at the 20. That is huge. That is massive. Dasmet says, Bennett gonna win his first wooden spoon since 1977. 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go. There's still plenty of time for your Dolphins fans. What a game, but what a game this is. I saw a comment earlier today on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram yet, guys, go click the pinned comment. We're posting all the time on there on Instagram, on the stories and whatnot. Bit of extra content. That's in the pinned comment. But I saw a comment on Instagram today saying that they think that this is the worst NRL season ever. I'm actually in shock that someone could think that. There is no guaranteed winner. The big dogs of recent years aren't performing anywhere near to their capabilities and what we would normally expect. The Warriors now first tackle gets ball at the 28. Actually, it should be 0 tackle, no? Yeah, it is 0 tackle at the 28. We've seen so many upsets. It's like 50-50 in regards to upsets. This is probably an upset in this game. It would be absolutely have been an upset. We've seen even teams that should be blown out of the water even get close in games, and the wooden spoon battle's even red hot right now too. Like, you never know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to win the comp. If you think this is the worst NRL season, I would argue this has been one of the best NRL seasons ever. And if somebody besides the Panthers, Storm, or the Roosters win the comp this year, I would lean this being collectively across the season the best NRL season I've watched. 4 tackle now for the Warriors, and they're 20 metres out here from the line. 7 minutes, 12 seconds to go here of the game. They lead by 2 after the very lucky no try from the Dolphins. Tanner Boyd now, he'll give it to Jacob Laban. And he's going to be 10 metres out, 5th tackle. If they can score a try, and convert it, they win the game. It's a penalty. You don't take the 2 here, though. At 4 points, there's no point. There's no point here. The Dolphins would take a short kick as well. There's no point going with the 2 here, but it is a penalty to the Warriors. They'll get a fresh set anyway. Amos says, mate, how is the Titans number 1 your ladder screen? Because this is the ladder, mate. This is a very serious channel, mate. We've never made a joke in our lives, and the Titans are clearly undefeated on the top of the ladder. So I don't know what you're arguing. Dasmate says, that's an actual fact, though. Why is everyone laughing? Who's laughing at what? Oh, Rubbo's getting the spoon. Not necessarily wrong. Is there a bin here? They're going to bin Kaufusi, I reckon. I think they may be about to bin Kaufusi. I think they may be able to bin him. High risk of injury. Felice Kaufusi is off for the rest of the game. Felice Kaufusi is off for the rest of the game. He has been sin-binned. It is 18-16 to the Warriors. The Dolphins will be down to 12 men for the last 6 minutes and 49 seconds here. Warriors, you may be keeping yourself up there at very least 3 points away from the Panthers. But if the Titans can do you a favour and beat the Panthers, you'd actually be guaranteed top 4 because you'd be up by 5 points and you don't drop out from there. But the Warriors here, 6:50 to go. You have not won it yet, but a massive chance here now. The Warriors are going to go for the try. Marta Musa says, this season has been brilliant, very unpredictable, and majority of teams aren't safe from the spoon or missing the 8. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's 6-7 teams in the spoon battle. There's 5 teams that are currently in the top 8 battle. There's 4 teams, you could argue, for the top 4 battle, and then there's 3 teams that are in the battle for the minor premiership. Everything's on play right now. Aaron Clark will be 5 metres away here from the line. 3rd tackle. The Dolphins are just lucky their points differential's massive, so this loss doesn't kill them in the water. And Lekahana Seymour is going to be 4 metres out from the line, 4th tackle. If they score a converted try here, they win the game. They go to the left-hand side, Tanner Boyd underneath the Catewell, and Catewell's going to be 6 metres out, 5th tackle. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go with the game. They go short side, somebody Healy goes at himself, and you don't want to get held up on the line here, but it will be 5th tackle, 1 metre out. It's actually the perfect play from Samuel Healy. Perfect play. Perfect play. John Smith says, please, bro, please, I put a live bet on the Dolphins thinking they were going to win. Well, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do. Me say, please, you want me to run on the field here with the Dolphins or what? What do you want me to do? Bro, please, I don't know what you want me to do here, Johnny boy. I'm sitting in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam right now. 2nd tackle here with the Dolphins, 9 minutes out from their own line, 5.5 minutes to go of the game. Do you want me to get on the field and play with Felice Kaufusi? You should be. Fortunately, he's been binned, mate. Cody Nicarima at the 30, 35. Good offload there. And the Dolphins, they get the offload away again. It's going to be Hamisa Tabuai-Fidow. And the Dolphins are making some good meters here. 4th tackle at the 42. Remember, it was 1st tackle at the 1. Now they're 4th tackle at the 45. And Kurt Donahue, they've got space there, but he couldn't get the ball out. And it'll be Oren Keeley, 5th tackle. Still 5 minutes to go here of the game. Dolphins have a man in the bin. It's only 2 points of difference. And now it's Saikatoa. That's an awful kick. It goes straight directly up in the air. But it will be allowed to bounce here from the Warriors. And the Dolphins will knock that ball on. Yes. Yeah, knock on from the Dolphins there. So Warriors ball here to 40. Awful kick there from Saikatoa. Awful. And they're going to challenge this year. But I'm pretty damn well certain this is just straight up a knock on from the Dolphins. Jared Choice, come on, Warriors. Roosters need you to win. Roosters aren't making the 8, bro. You know we're near good enough. John says, still not over to the final whistle. Absolutely not. There's still plenty of time here. Still plenty of time. Plenty of time. The Roosters are so much a non-factor for the Dolphins that the Roosters, the Dolphins absolutely want you to beat Manly this weekend if they lose. The Dolphins want you, the Roosters, to beat Manly this weekend. That's how much of a non-factor the Roosters are for teams like the Dolphins. So Captain's Challenge here. But you're still in the hunt for the top 8. But it's the Roosters aren't going to do anything in the top 8. Oh, this is actually a penalty against the Dolphins. They're actually going to penalise them for being offside. This is actually going to be a penalty against the Dolphins. Yep, so they've actually challenged this not being a knock-on. And it's actually going to be a penalty instead against the Dolphins. So, challenge is unsuccessful. Penalty to the Warriors here. 4 minutes 45 to go here the game. Dasmate says, 15% if it pays off. Yes, I know it used to be 10%, but inflation is a thing. Sorry, not sorry. What are you talking about? Who's talking about what? All right, 4 minutes, 44 seconds to go here at the game. The poll at 650 votes has got 51% here for the Warriors. It is super close. Get your support behind the team you're supporting in the chat. Leka Halasima, he'll be at the 30-metre. Good post contact there from Leka Halasima. And it's going to be first tackle now for the Warriors. 4 minutes and 24 seconds to go here. You'd argue that should have been a penalty. At least a 6 again. And now it will be Stowers Smith, who's going to be 24 metres out, second tackle. Remember, the Dolphins will not get Kafusi back for the rest of the game. He is in the bin for the last 4 minutes here. They give it to Tamati Martin, then off to Chance Newell Klokstad, and Klokstad's going to be 9 metres out from the line. Third tackle. Yeah, Warriors fans are going to be hating the fact they lost to the Titans last week, but then go and beat the Dolphins this week if they find the way to continue this up. So Aaron Clark is going to be 10 metres out, fourth tackle. Sneaky 2-point field goal. Well, they're 10 metres out, Jay, so they have to pass the ball back 30 metres to go for a 2-point field goal. Roger Tuivasa-Sheckie's 5 metres out, fifth tackle. 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go here of the game. They roll it back here to Healy. Healy off to Tamati Martin, and fifth tackle. That's a turnover. The Dolphins will probably still get 2 sets here. There's 3.5 minutes left. You would assume the Dolphins get 2 sets to... If they can get a 2... Oh, you're talking about the Dolphins, Jay. Sorry, my bad. I thought you were referring to the Warriors. But the Dolphins, yeah, they just need to get within range of a 2-point field goal. Jermaine Asako has the boot on him. Jermaine Asako can absolutely work a 2-point field goal in. Not the most confident from behind the 40 compared to a couple other players, but like he can absolutely get a 2-point field goal. I think he's done it before. He's got plenty of field goals before. Third tackle now for the Dolphins, and they're going to get this ball here to the 40. Infinite Kiwi says, we needed that wake up from the Titans. That's a bit of a cope. Cody Nicarima now will get this ball to the 50, fourth tackle. I grant a little bit of it, but like, no, that's a cope. Esai Katoa, he'll get that to Kurt Donahue. Donahue now to... Oh, this is awful for the Dolphins. What are they doing? Nicarima, what are they doing? Oh, this is actually nearly going to work out. What's happening? They're at the 38, the 35. They're going to have a 2-point field goal opportunity here. It's a penalty. Oh, no, Warriors. Oh, my gosh. They've just given away a penalty. We're going extra time. Oh, my gosh, Warriors. I can't believe they've just given away a penalty there. On fifth tackle, 35 metres out. This is not an easy kick for Asako, but every single day of the week you take this as a 2-point penalty. Oh, they're going for the try. What are you doing, Dolphins? What are you doing? Okay, first tackle of the Dolphins at the 30. Why are you not taking the 2 there? Okay, 25 metres out, Nicarima with the ball. I'm astounded. Even if you score a try, that'll be great for you, but like I'll still be confused regardless why you didn't take the 2 opportunity there. Second tackle now for the Dolphins, and they're 15 metres away from the line. They go Marshall King, right-hand side. Saika Toa to Hamisa Tawafado. They give it out to Oren Keeley, and he's 9 metres away from the line. Third tackle. Dolphins, you better damn well score a try here. You absolutely better score a try here based off of that decision. Otherwise, you deserve every bit of criticism possible. Marshall King gets it off to Nicarima. Nicarima underneath now to Avarillo. Oh, jeez. Lucky scramble defense there from the Warriors. And now Asaka Toa is going to be taken down 8 metres out from the line, fourth tackle. Minute 36 to go here of the game. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Marshall King right inside Hamiso. He'll get taken out to 6. And here's your chance here, Dolphins. This is your, maybe not your last chance, but it'll be close enough. They give it to Asaka Toa. Asaka Toa gives it out to Kurt Donahue to Nicarima. Nicarima gives it off to Avarillo. Back to Fianay back to Avarillo. 18 metres out. They flick it all the way across. Warriors don't throw it away from here. They flick it out the back again. Dolphins flick it out again. It's Katoa. They flick it out to the top here. Jermaine Asako. Oh my gosh, the Warriors have just given up the try. Oh my gosh, Warriors. Oh my gosh, they just threw it away. The Warriors are going to lose. The Dolphins have just scored on the wing. Oh my gosh, Warriors. I cannot believe you've just thrown that game. The Dolphins have scored on the wing. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is heartbreak for New Zealand, dude. What a game. I cannot believe New Zealand are going to lose this game. The Dolphins just threw the ball around left, right, and then they're so far on the left-hand side. The Warriors players are all over here too, fifth tackle, and then they just spread, and then there's Sarko. Warriors way too lazy here on defense. Why players aren't getting out there faster is beyond to me. This is for the top 4. This is actually, you are now not guaranteed for the top 8 if you lose this game. Just want to remind the Warriors here, and yet we saw lethargic defense there on fifth tackle. They needed one more tackle. They just need to hold out one more. Just make one more tackle. They didn't do that. They didn't cover across quick enough. Follow the ball. Follow the ball across, but they didn't do it. And Jermaine Asako will score on the wing to make it 20-18 with a kick to come. And don't forget, with 7 minutes to go with this game, the Warriors were leading 18-16. The Dolphins lost a player. Felice Kafusi went to the bin for the last 6-7 minutes of this game, and yet the Dolphins are still going to find a way to score in the last minutes. That's crazy, dude. There's still 33 seconds to go here, but that's a throwaway. That's a choke. You know, like Steve says, here come the Panthers. It's not even about the Panthers, though, Steve. The Panthers win their game tomorrow against the Titans. They'll be 1 point short of the top 4. But you've also got to remember the Sharks should beat the Cowboys. They'll be 2 points short of the top 4. The Broncos should beat the Rabbitohs right after this. They'll be 2 points short of the top 4. And guess what? The Dolphins, with a plus 169 points differential, they're now going to be 4 points outside of the top 4. And then you've also got Manly, who are probably going to be 6 points away from the Warriors now. So that try they've just conceded has just thrown potentially out of whack the Warriors even making the top 8. They should make the top 8, but top 4 right now is going to be just insane to see for the Warriors. That is a huge, huge throwaway just then, and such a great game. Wow. Manly fans are going to be spewing. Roosters fans are going to be spewing. Sharks fans are going to be spewing. Broncos and Panthers fans are going to be spewing. The way the Dolphins found a way to win that is absurd. I'm still absolutely validated with my thought process for them. They should have done a lot better in this game against the Warriors team that had 7 players out of position. But, geez, that top 8 battle's red hot. And guess what, Warriors? That top 4 battle is absolutely red hot, unfortunately for you. But, guys, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to switch across to that Broncos versus Rabbitohs game. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Unfortunately, can't take you off for a lot now, Wise. But you will stay in the top 4 for the time being, and Dolphins, you will go to 6th position for the time being until we see what the Broncos and Sharks do. But, all right, guys, I'll see you in a couple minutes' time. And, gee whiz, Wise fans, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.